everybody. Mike Missanelli Show. We are on the air. And on the cusp of the NBA draft, which we'll talk about in a second. We first start the show out with your fighting Phillies. They have surged to number 2 in the Athletics power rankings, right behind the Dodgers. So the National League represented in the 1-2 spots amongst baseball teams. The Tigers 3rd, the Yankees 4th. The Mets have dropped to 5th. The Mets are in a terrible slump. And as the Mets keep folding, the Phils begin a series on the road, 2 series on the road, actually. 3 starting tonight in Houston, a 45-33 team. They're surprisingly pretty good. We haven't really paid much attention to what the Astros are doing. And then 3 in Atlanta. And then the schedule with the struggling San Diego Padres for 3 at home. The solid Cincinnati Reds for 3 at home, and then another road trip at San Francisco for 3, at San Diego for 3. These 18 games will be very important for the Phillies, but they do have a cushion because the Mets are not playing good baseball, and they look like they're in a free fall. So tonight, Ranger Suarez versus Valdez, Framber Valdez. The Astros are minus 150 tonight. Solid favorites against Ranger Suarez? What the hell? Let's get my attention, folks. I'm sorry. I think the Phils will win 2 or 3 of the series. I'm not sure they win tonight. But in any event, we're going to follow this series because they get Wheeler and Sanchez the next 2 nights. I think that's pretty good power on the hill for them against the Astros before they go to Atlanta. And Wheeler will miss that series. The NBA draft, it's tomorrow. Here is the question I have to ask people. How many Sixer fans really believe they could reemerge as an Eastern contender? You know my opinion by now. I don't see it at all. I think that the Sixers are played out. I think they need to move on from 1 or 2 of their key personnel. And that leads me into the draft. I know there's a lot of hullabaloo. Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe. Con Knipple. I'm trading out of the 3 spot. I've thought about this long and hard, and I go, okay, what player, other than the first 2, which I can't get, has a chance to make a significant impact in the NBA? I don't know that it's Bailey. There are too many question marks on Ace Bailey, and I don't think it's Edgecombe, even though he's a great athlete. He reminds me of a guy who's a great athlete who does not yet know how to play the game, a la like, I don't know, Cam Whitmore, that Villanova kid that came out, was drafted pretty high based on athletic ability. So I don't want Edgecombe. I think he's years away. I am trading out, and I'm trading back, and I'm getting to a spot where I'm going to take the center from Duke, Malawak. Why would you do that, Mike? Why would I do that? Because I'm done with Embiid. I don't think Embiid gives you anything from this point on. I would look to move him somewhere where you can convince somebody that is on the cusp of maybe doing something, that Embiid could be the piece that brings you over the top. In any rate, if you have to keep Embiid, you got Malawak that you can play and get him used to the NBA pace. There is nothing more important in the league than a rim protector these days. You don't need a center that scores in the NBA these days. You really don't. You need a rim protector who can score occasionally, who can get an alley-oop, who can get a fast break dunk, but can serve as a rim protector. This kid is going to be a monster in the NBA. And so there you go. That's my endorsement for Malawak. Trading back, you get something in that deal, you trade back, you take Malawak. He's not going to contribute right away unless you trade Embiid. But I got my center for the next several years. So that's where I'm going. Ray? Are you buying my theory here on the NBA draft?
No. Wow. Okay. I did not expect this to be where we went today.
Thought about it long and hard. I go, this kid is Robinson with a little more offensive ability.
Robinson?
Yeah.
And he's going, what, 7, 6?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because I want a rim protector.
No. Why is he Robinson to you?
Because people get all carried away with the athletic ability of wing players. So they're not looking really at centers anymore. So they look at wing players. But I have to look at a center. I've got a problem at center. So I'm going to change instead of having the center who dominates the ball, who's my leading scorer, I'm going to have the center, like if you look at all the teams that win now, they don't have a dominant center. They have a rim protector center. They have guys who can get out on the break. Their center can finish. They don't have to get the ball in the post to the center.
So aside from the Nuggets.
Well, he's superhuman, and he plays up top anyway. He doesn't really play in the post that much.
No, there's not many guys that still are continuous post presence that are big guys anymore.
That's the center I'm looking at. I'm looking at a bigger Bam Adebayo is what I'm looking at. That's what I think you win with as a center these days. I know everybody's carried away with perimeter players. I get it. But I got to have that rim protector because it does so much for my defense.
Yeah, I'm not going there at all.
Okay.
I'm not making that move.
Okay.
Trading back here, you could talk me into trading back. I don't think I'm trading back with the idea of Malawak. Malawak. I'm talking about trading back with the idea of what I can get off of in terms of contracts or what I can pick up in terms of assets.
Okay.
That would be the way you would talk me into it, and the player becomes secondary. But if you're sitting there at 3, I have absolutely no problem with going VJ Edgecombe, and that's where I would go with this pick.
Okay.
I think
he's miles away.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Really?
I don't think he's going to be like your driving force of success right away. I think in what they have right now, a bigger guard alongside a Tyrese Maxey, alongside a Jared McCain, who's actually defensive oriented and can run with them on the break. You look at what's driven the success of some of these teams that we've seen in the NBA playoffs, and these teams are out running. They're out moving. They're able to do things, again, at really quick pace. And I think he gives you that ability out in the open floor.
Have you seen Malawak run the floor?
I have seen him run the floor.
What do you think?
I also saw him disappear in plenty of big games for Duke.
He's still learning, but he is
still learning. So is Edgecombe.
Innate rim protection ability.
And I'll watch Edgecombe dunk over him. That's the athleticism you're getting for this guy.
This is the mistake everybody makes. They see Edgecombe can jump out of the building, and they go, "Oh, look at the way he dunked over somebody." All right, we'll see. I don't think he knows how to play the game.
You don't think he knows how to play the game?
No, I don't.
I would think the one thing that you should be concerned about is whether or not his offensive game turns into something that's, again, like
that's what I don't see.
level.
I don't see his offensive game turning into something within the next couple of years.
Yeah, but I don't think that's not
far
how
away.
to play the game.
I think he's far away. I think he's a guy who runs around a lot. I think he's like a better Ricky Council the fourth.
A better Ricky Council.
Yeah, I think he's got more potential than Ricky Council the fourth, but that's the type of player he is.
Yeah, see, I think that's really overselling what Ricky Council IV is for you.
No, I don't mean to oversell him whatsoever. What I'm saying is that there are guys on the floor that don't really understand the floor, and I think he's one of those guys. Now, maybe he will, but I don't think he will in the next couple of years. So that's why I'm going with a more of a sure thing.
Yeah, see, I think you're taking
got an Embiid problem.
A limited offensive. Well, yeah, then that's
listen. I got to solve the Embiid problem. That Embiid problem is current.
It is current. I don't think it's necessarily tied into the pick I'm making there at 3, though.
Okay, all right. To me, it is. So I've got to restyle this team, and if I'm only going to have Embiid, and like how long would I realistically think I have Embiid unless I move him right now? How long do you think he can play at a certain level?
You're lucky if you get 2 more really good years out of him.
This year we get this year out of him? Even this year, do you get out of him?
We're well overdue the 6-week update here for him that we still have not gotten from the 76ers organization.
And so that's what I think. We get zero. No, not zero, but very minimal out of him this year if they keep him. All right. So here's the bigger question: how many Sixer fans can we play the Bill Colarulo thing? Let's play. Bill and I had this conversation and argument when he was doing this show, and for some reason he's still on it. That he is actually conned into thinking the Sixers could be a contender this year. Let's hear what our good pal Bill said.
You look up and down the Eastern Conference now, and you look at the injuries that occurred in this postseason. You got Tyrese Halliburton last night. You had Jason Tatum blow out his Achilles. You had Damian Lillard for the Bucks blow out his Achilles. Why can't the 76ers compete in the Eastern Conference? And I know what you're saying right now. Well, Joel Embiid can't stay healthy. Paul George, he's got no fire. He's got no determination. Bear with me for a second. Let's pipe dream, okay? Let's pipe dream that the Joel Embiid that we saw literally a year ago in the postseason, who was averaging over 30 points a game, on one leg. Let's say you get some semblance of that guy next year. And with him there, maybe Paul George is a little bit more motivated. You got Tyrese Maxey. You got Jared McCain. We got the NBA draft coming up on Wednesday night, and the Sixers are picking 3rd overall. You got my man Quentin Grimes, who can score off the bench most likely. You're going to maybe bring back
you can shut that down. You can shut that down. I love Bill, right? That's idiotic. That whole take is idiotic and misguided. And I'm curious to know how many people he's convinced to actually believe what he just said about the promise. Because here are the odds in the Eastern Conference. Cavs plus 270, Knicks plus 300, Magic plus 420, Celtics plus 550, and then way down, Sixers plus 1100. Vegas knows. 610-632-0975. But I want to hear from you on the text board or via telephone. Do you believe that the Sixers could reemerge as an East contender on the cusp of the NBA draft for tomorrow? Mike Missanelli Show continues. Mike Missanelli Show. All right, let me go over those odds again for the Sixers to win the East. So, by these odds, they like the Sixers will finish in the 5th slot. Now, is that a contender slot? I don't think so. Cavs, Knicks, Magic, Celtics, Sixers. Now, I would be so bold to say the Pistons should be ahead of the Sixers. They don't have the Pacers ahead of the Sixers because of the situation with Halliburton, but they're still a pretty good team. The Bucks, 2,300. They don't believe in the Bucks at all. And the Heat at 4,700, plus 4,700. So the Sixers, when you look at it, they they're in the 5th slot, but they're like it's the Celtics plus 550, Sixers next at plus 1,100 to win the East. Are they a contender? I don't know. I don't see it at all. And I know people do see it. I know people are like genie in a bottle, and they go, wow, yeah, if they're all healthy and they can all do this, and they got this guy and they got that guy, and they've got a team that doesn't blend at all. They may have some personnel that stands out, like, oh, they got McCain coming back. Yeah, all right. Where's McCain play? Who's he play with? Like, I don't know. Is the tech sports humming at all early on, Ray?
We got Mark Lansdale here. I don't see how this team at all is any bit of a contender. Why are we still going back on this Embiid conversation?
Yeah, listen, everything has an expiration date. And I think the Sixers have reached their expiration date. And it's foolhardy to have them suck you back in. If they do play well, they have earned your trust, then that's different. But right now, how could anybody, any Sixer fan, have the trust to think that they could be a contender and just wipe away all these problems that existed before that somehow in their minds don't exist now? Problems that exist before continue to exist and get worse.
Well, here you go from Bob from Conshohocken. The best thing about believing is that it's free. There's no reason not to have optimism and not have hope. Sure, the odds are against us, and a lot of factors need to go the right way for good things to happen. Yes, but that doesn't change my fandom, doesn't keep me from believing there's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about.
It should change your fandom because you know what you are? You're a sap. That's what you are. You're a sap. And if you're a sap, they don't change anything. If you've got an agreeable fan base to believe this nonsense, then they've got you. They've got you over a barrel. So they've got time to try to fix it without any immediacy. That's the peril of being a blind loyalist fan.
All right, we got Edwin from Philadelphia here. Good morning, Mike and Ray. This is Edwin. The Sixers got to make up some ground to really be in the mix to come out of the East, but as long as Joel manages to stay healthy, big ass, PJ shows that he still has life, Tyrese continues to add to his game, McCain shows why he was the front runner for Rookie of the Year, and this pick shows promise during the season, they could have a chance to compete in the conference, just a matter of things going in their favor. I understand the Sixers have to do their part, but if you take a step back, the landscape should be favorable for the Sixers.
The landscape should be favorable? Where do you see a favorable landscape? You gave me 6 ifs. You can't base a favorable landscape on 6 ifs.
The factors outside of the 76ers organization are favorable for the 76ers. But that requires the 76ers to overcome everything inside their 4 walls. And that's the problem here. Because you can look at the East and say it's going to be weak next year, but that also means that you have to say that the 76ers are going to be able to pull together after this past season. And that's where I keep stopping. Because I keep watching the East get weaker. Last night, the Celtics look like they're going to do a retool year without Tatum. That they're going to reset the books a little bit. They're going to get younger, get cheaper, and that's going to be their plan going forward. That's what that looks like that's going to be for them. The Pacers obviously have the Halliburton thing. You look across at whatever happens in Milwaukee with Dame, with Giannis, that whole thing. Like, there are reasons to believe the East is going to be weak.
There are weaknesses in the East, but the weaknesses in the East still make those teams miles better than the Sixers. That's my point. Read his first line over again about Embiid. I want this to be like written in stone.
As long as Joel manages to stay healthy.
As long as Joel manages to stay healthy, where in what universe do you see that happening? What universe? It is over for that. I can't believe there's so many blind people out there. What else? What else you got?
We got a texter saying Bill's drinking the Maury Kool-Aid.
Bill's not drinking any Kool-Aid. Bill actually thinks like He's not basing this on what Maury says. He's basing this on what Bill thinks. Bill's one of those misguided Sixer believers.
We got Texter chiming in on the plan. Joe from West Philly here, the actual draft night plan. Zaire Smith and the kid from Villanova, yes, they were athletic players, but they were ranked nowhere. Nobody's top 5 at all at any point in their careers. The one thing about the kid from Duke, he couldn't get a rebound against Houston in his Final Four game.
Cam Whitmore went 7th overall, didn't he? Where did Cam Whitmore go?
Did he go all the way at 7?
He was projected to be a very high pick when he was playing at Villanova.
He went 20.
Oh, he went 20?
Yeah. I was going to say, I remember him dropping considerably.
Okay. He shouldn't even have been a first-round draft pick, that kid. But they were talking about him because of his athleticism. And that's the same. Listen, I know who VJ Edgecombe is. I know he was a great high school player. He was a highly recruited high school player, one of the most highly recruited players in the nation. I watched him a lot at Baylor. He didn't show in a lot of games. He was okay. He didn't show. Just like Whitmore at Villanova. Those guys didn't show. They didn't have an understanding of the game that much. They expect him to come in the NBA and do something? He's going to have a highlight dunk every now and then. I don't trust it. He's going to take 2-3 years.
Again, are you expecting him to be an offensive weapon for you when he gets in the league?
I don't know what I'm expecting with him. That's why I know what to expect with Malawak. I know exactly what to expect. I've got an Embiid problem. I've got a center problem. I know in the NBA, there's a different kind of center that wins now. It's not a dominant scoring center. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatics Sports Update.
3 with the Astros. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatics Sports Update. Tonight, the Phillies open up a 3-game series with the Astros in Houston. After the Mets lost last night, the Phillies have a 1.5-game lead in the NL East. They'll throw out Ranger Suarez against Framber Valdez in Houston tonight at 8:10. Tomorrow night, the 76ers hold the 3rd pick in the first round of the NBA draft. A lot of momentum has built for Baylor's VJ Edgecombe being the selection at 3 for the Sixers. ESPN's Jonathan Giovanni reported as such on Monday and included that Rutgers' Ace Bailey may not be interested in being in Philadelphia.
Ace Bailey has had a workout scheduled in Philadelphia, canceled it, and is really sending signals that he does not want to be there in Philadelphia.
We'll give you live coverage of the draft from the Sixers facility in Camden Wednesday night starting at 7:30 right here on The Fanatic. And big news out of the NBA yesterday, Drew Holiday traded to the Portland Trail Blazers from the Boston Celtics. The Celtics getting Anthony Simons back and 2 second-round picks. And the Flyers made a deal yesterday acquiring center Trevor Zegras in exchange for Ryan Poehling, the 45th pick in Friday's draft, and a future 4th-round pick. This update brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios Instant Push-to-Talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for a 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
that promo, though? The thing that makes me chuckle? Did he rip off Jalen Hurts?
That's the funny thing that makes me chuckle. That's the funny thing that makes me chuckle.
That sounds like a DNA thing.
Oh, sometimes our speech patterns are directly correspondent to the stuff that we play. Like, for instance, I got to be honest with you. The best commercial jingle I've heard is that Total Wine jingle. Total Wine. Isn't that the best? That's a
it's
hit.
really good.
It's a hit, man.
It's really good. It's why I keep going there. That's the only reason I keep going.
Oh, that's a great one. All right, so it's going to be 100 degrees out there if it's not already. Yesterday I had another scare. The power went out for a half an hour.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah. I'm going, oh my God, not today, please. No, with no air conditioning, I could not survive. Fortunately, it came back on within a half an hour. I don't know what the hell they were doing. They were taking a tree off a wire or something. They had to close down the power. But all over the Delaware Valley, fallen trees. So as I was telling a couple days ago, that storm blew down a tree. My next door neighbors, as I live in an older neighborhood, so the trees are really old, like 100-year-old trees. And these things, when they go, they go. And this 50-foot tree toppled and hit a tree across the street, which was another 50-foot tree, like a domino, and went and crashed it into the person's house.
Oh, no.
And these trees are massive, so it shut down the road, and it was there for a couple of days. And there was apparently a discrepancy on whether it was a township tree or whether it was a tree that the people owned on their own property, because the police were out. This was a whole drama, man. So they were trying to figure it out, and yesterday, all of a sudden, the tree people came, and I don't know if they were privately hired or whether the township hired them, but in any event, they cleaned all the trunks that were across the road and on the yard and the one that hit the house, and they left giant chunks of the trunk on the property. So it may have been a compromise. Yeah, the township says, yeah. Okay, we'll bear the expense of cutting down the tree, but you got to now dispose of the trunks.
Oh, I guess that's compromise. I don't love the compromise.
But the trunks are all over the people's property.
That's what I'm saying.
What do they do with it? Now, I got my little chainsaw, but you need a bigger chainsaw for that. I'd go over, clip it for firewood.
But your chainsaw wouldn't work.
My chainsaw is too small. I have a small battery-powered chainsaw.
Yeah, it's not going to get the job done.
Would not get through that big trunk. But I wonder how many people had the same problem with these fallen trees. I don't know how I escaped it, because I've got these colossal trees in my backyard that somehow stood up to that storm, and I wound up cutting my bamboo yesterday because it was all droopy. But in any event, I have great empathy for the people that had all kinds of property damage. I've heard of all these trees that smashed into people's roof, that took down their decks, all this stuff.
Well, yeah, now I see all across the Delaware Valley, people are doing the tree maintenance. Usually it takes that first storm for you to realize, oh, man, like if you don't end up seeing the tree fall, you're like, I should probably get that taken care of right now.
Yep.
Like in our parking lot today. They're taking care of it out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Other side of the building, towards basketball courts. A lot of work on the trees. Yep.
Did the trees fall on the basketball courts?
No, I think they're just taking down branches and, cleaning up whatever's back there in that little, I don't want to call it a woods area, but it's like in between the parking lot and the one road.
All right. Well, anyway, if there's any way we can help by putting out the word that you need some kind of help from township or some people that do the tree work, just let us know and we'll put it out on the air and maybe people can gravitate towards your area. All right. Meanwhile, we're talking Sixers here. Tomorrow's the draft. It'll be very interesting. I really think there's no reason for the Sixers to stay at 3. I really don't. I think after 2, you can just you throw a dart and you'll get a player. You're going to have to actually build up anyway. I don't think anybody beyond 2 is NBA ready. So I'm going with what I think is a safer play, trading back and taking Malawak, the big kid, the 7'2" kid who can really run the floor and still learning to play the game, but a great shot blocker, the whole bit. So, but the bigger question is, how many Sixer fans really believe that they could reemerge as the East contender, that you've been sold this bill of goods? I hate to put it that way because I do want your opinion. You know exactly what my opinion is. And I want to know how you could come up with the opposite opinion, that this team could somehow reemerge as a contender in the East. And we have a lot of texts that are coming in, and I'd love to have a conversation with somebody. I swear to God, I will not browbeat you. If you have that opinion and you can justify it and back it up, then I'm okay with it. So let's go back to the text board, Ray. What do we have?
C from Bucks County. I'm curious to know from Mike why he thinks the Sixers haven't given up on this group. They, for some reason, seem to think this team can really compete. Why is there such a disconnect between what the fans see versus what the organization sees?
So do the majority of fans see it? I don't know. I don't know that if the majority of fans, we've had a couple texts already that suggest that they could reemerge. The Sixers are in a position where I think they know they have to move one or both of those guys and start over again, but they can't really do it because their contracts are prohibitive to trade. They can't just discard players. So they're playing it like if they get a deal, I think they would do it. In the meantime, because they know they can't get a deal, they have to sell the other side of it, which is, well, if all our guys are healthy, we're a pretty good team. And I just can't, I can't understand how you can. I know why they would say it. I don't know how you can believe that injured players who get older don't get healthier or younger. Like that's the thing that I know about the NBA. Like to think that Embiid is going to reemerge as some superhero and then Paul George is going to find the Paul George of 10 years ago is misguided thinking. So, I mean, that's where I stand on it. I refuse to go down that avenue of hope because to me there is no hope. There's only let's maintain and maybe we can finish sixth.
Yeah, and that lack of hope is reflected on the text line. Bill from Warriors-Ford. Mike, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I love watching dominant B, but those days are gone. I think it is time to move on from him and start getting younger. Picking an older watch player doesn't work. I like the idea of trading back and getting the athletic center who can get better. I couldn't watch the Sixers this past season because they were unbearable. It is time to get younger and more exciting.
What is the upside of watching this team this year and hoping, knowing that you're going to get pounded over the head again? See, that's where I stand right now. It's like you're going to go in there with this open mind, believing they could do something different than they have been doing for the last couple of years, that things are going to change, that everybody's going to stay healthy, everybody's going to find their zeal, and you sit there and you go, oh, man, it's not happening. How are you going to feel? The fan has been put in a miserable position here. And I'm pro-fan. I'm always pro-fan. And they are conning you into thinking that something can be different when it's not. This regime should have been cleaned out, and it wasn't. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Ricky Bo.
Mike Missanelli show. So now Bill Colarulo has his panties in an uproar. But right, got a text. I just got a text from him. Was Vegas right this year? Had the Sixers way up and the Pacers way down to win the East. Stop basing it on Vegas. Oh, come on, man. Vegas looks at the data and accordingly, like the Sixers weren't as bleak at the start of the year than they were as they currently exist. They bought the same stuff with the Sixers last year. The Indiana Pacers came out of nowhere. They were struggling early on, and then they caught fire. So, yeah, things can change, but things can't change for a team that's beat. And that's what the Sixers are right now. They're beat. There's no new juice flowing through the Sixers' wires. They're going to be Colarulo a star today.
2 o'clock. The response will be there, I'm sure.
Yeah. He is... For the life of me, I can't understand him. I really can't. How he could buy... Like, he's a grown man. You're a grown-ass man. As Cedric the Entertainer would say. And you believe this rot? You believe this stuff? Embiid's going to get healthier. Paul George is going to get healthier. Paul George is going to find his zeal to play in Philadelphia. Everything's going to... You've got to be kidding me. What more do you have to see? The Tooth Fairy is going to come tonight in your world? I'm telling you. When you have acceptance from a fan base, you have little pressure on the front office. The Flyers have been an example of that for 50 years. When you allow the wool to come over your eyes, you are permissive to management making the wrong decisions. Let's go to the phones. Jim in Center City. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jim.
Michael, good to talk to you as always.
What's happening, Jimmy?
First and foremost, on the tree conversation, I hired an arborist to come out and do a health assessment on my largest trees on my property this past fall. Give you an idea of the root strength, tree branches that are in danger of falling in a storm. They give you an idea of each tree and let you know what to trim and be prepared for it. So there you go.
There you go. How much did you pay the arborist for? It's like preventive maintenance, like going to the doctor and getting your heart checked.
$250. I paid him, and he spent an hour with me and gave me a full report.
And so, what did he say? That eventually you're going to have to cut some trees down?
Yeah. So one of the trees was in danger of uprooting, which was near my pool area, and I had it removed. He recommended a company. Guy came out, took it down.
Oh, that's
no
good.
Problem with the pool.
That's good work by you. Now, these big trees, I don't think anybody thinks of like when they're going to fall down. But I'm talking about these monster trunked trees, 50 feet high, that get just ripped apart.
Yeah, a commercial arborist can recommend.
All right, that's good work by you, man. Arborist,
give you a good idea.
$250, probably
I'd
good.
Recommend it.
Yeah, $250, well spent money, I guess.
Indeed. So let's talk Sixers, and your point about the Sixers and the Flyers is so dead on. That the Eagles, and to a lesser degree the Phillies, have inculcated a culture in this city that they're successful, we're happy with it, everyone's feeling good from the Super Bowl. The Sixers, the Flyers, we tolerate them. We do not hold their management accountable. The management of this team, of the Sixers team, is looking at the Clippers from last year and saying, you know what? Kawhi was dead, but he came back to life. Harden looked great. And what did it buy you? An exit in the first round in the playoffs. And that's the shill that this management core is going to sell you on these Sixers. We're going to get enough from George. We're going to get enough from Embiid. And sure enough, the Sixers will be something this year, and we'll win 50 games, and then you'll see an exit in the first or second round. And that's best case scenario, and that's what they're going to be selling you to try to sell that arena out.
Well, yeah, they may sell tickets. A lot of people love the Sixers, go to the Sixers games. I get it, but you are absolutely right on your assessment here. This general manager tried to convince me at the beginning of training camp last year that it's better to have older stars than not. And I go, in what world do you see older stars get better or healthier? In what world? In this NBA, this fast-paced NBA, where Achilles tendons are getting blown out because of the pace of this game and other factors, which we'll talk about a little later, where do you have this misguided thinking that if you put three stars together who are older, you're going to win games? That's an archaic view in today's NBA. And this president of basketball operations still has the view. And everybody was on board with it because the Sixers convinced them. I take no delight in doing this. We broadcast Flyers and Sixers games. I take no delight in it. I would love to be a better corporate partner if they would give me something to believe in. Until then, I've got to be a ranter. Because if there are people that are accepting this, that's what they get away with. Go back to the text board, Ray.
Anthony from Lindenwold here. There's nothing the Sixers could do to convince me they're a playoff contender. Regardless in who they draft, the people in the front office are still there. This has been going on for far too long. It's time to hit the reset button.
Yeah. The reset button... the reset button is that you move one of these guys out of here or both of them. And I know it's tough. But by the same token, don't try to sell me this fantasy. This fantasy that, if they're healthy, we're going to be really good. You start out with a lie. You know they're not going to be healthy. You know neither one of them is going to be healthy. One can't be healthy because he's so battered it's impossible to get a resurgence, and the other one is a 35-year-old guy. Yeah, but you got McCain. You got McCain and Maxey. Well, McCain and Maxey get you a cup of coffee. Let's face it. A cup of coffee. Not even. Well, maybe he gets a cup of coffee. A latte. High-priced latte. Speaking of coffee,
mm-hmm.
I have a DB or not that we'll say for the 11 o'clock hour. That has to do with coffee.
Not within these four walls, hopefully.
No.
We've had enough coffee wars.
No.
This building.
Something I observed in the coffee world.
Oh, no. I had one over the weekend, too, DB or not.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What is it?
Middle of the day, packed beach, guy going through a full workout.
On the beach?
On the beach.
Oh, come on, man. What, was it Colarulo?
It was not, no.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it didn't look like him, at least. He was down in Wildwood and did not hit me up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, he's one of those guys. He's like a classic. If he's around you, he's your buddy. When he's not around you, you can go pound sand. Hence the Ricky Bottalico golf outing.
Yeah, we're still doing the match? Mike and Amy versus Bill and Ricky?
Listen, I'm up for any match, to be honest with you. But, this guy, he's got short arms and deep pockets, this Colarulo. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatics Sports Update.
3 with the Astros. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatics Sports Update. Tonight, the Phillies open up a 3-game series with Houston. After the Mets lost last night, the Phillies have a game-and-a-half lead in the NL East. They'll throw out Ranger Suarez tonight on the mound against Framber Valdez for Houston at 8:10. Tomorrow night, the 76ers hold the third pick in the first round of the NBA draft. A lot of momentum is built for Baylor's VJ Edgecombe being the selection for the Sixers at 3. ESPN's Jonathan Giovanni reported as such on Monday and included that Rutgers' Ace Bailey may not be interested in being in Philadelphia.
Ace Bailey has had a workout scheduled in Philadelphia, canceled it, and is really sending signals that he does not want to be there in Philadelphia.
We'll see if that ends up being the case for him. We will have live coverage for you of the draft from the Sixers facility in Camden on Wednesday starting at 7:30. Elsewhere in the NBA, Drew Holiday dealt from the Boston Celtics to the Portland Trail Blazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. As for the Flyers, they made a big deal yesterday, acquiring center Trevor Zegras in exchange for Ryan Poehling, the 45th pick in Friday's draft, and a 2026 fourth-round pick. This update's brought to you by the International Hot Rod Association. Nitro's back. The IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series is lighting up the track. Nitro Nation, grab your tickets now at IHRA.com. That's IHRA.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Texting. It's 10:54, Mike Missanelli Show. Guess what? At 11:25 today, we're going to have Matt Denish. This is the guy we talked about yesterday, who was the guy who finished third in the Fanatics Fest contest. Brady won it. And for finishing third, Matt Denish, who is a teacher in York, Pennsylvania, who sent in an audition tape to get selected to be one of the fans who participated against real-life pro athletes. He got a LeBron gold-plated LeBron trading card. Brady is a collector, has his own trading card company, and he gave him $250,000 for the card, in addition to $5,000 from his $1 million prize money. Brady gave all 50 fans who were in the contest $5,000 and donated the rest to charity.
You came up with $250,000 right now. What are you doing with it?
$250,000. What would I do with it now? It's a really good question, man. I'd have to think about that. What would you do with $250,000?
Looking for a way to turn that into a place where I can reside.
Would you buy a house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good move for you.
Yeah. I think that would be the best move for me.
Yeah.
So nothing exciting with it. I'm not buying like a Batmobile or, anything really fun.
Yeah.
Just a house.
I hear you.
Just want to live.
I got you. See, I'm not an indulgent person. So like I wouldn't buy like some fancy car or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
Like I look at cars, like I like nice cars, but I like them just to be functional.
You go get a diamond chain?
No, I would.
Double M? Mikey Miss?
I would not get a diamond.
Come on.
I would not get a diamend chain either.
Come on.
I might put it towards real estate. I have a venture right now. Or put it towards the winery.
Could do that.
Yeah, get the winery down there in Cape May Courthouse.
But think about a diamond-encrusted double M.
No,
chain.
I couldn't. Platinum?
Little Mikey Miss
diamond,
chain. Imagine coming in here. Imagine the YouTube chat if you rocked a diamond chain coming in here.
Yeah, 250. Well, give me whatever you get for 250. It wouldn't be that garish, right? That 250. You have to go towards a mill to get something really substantial.
I haven't really been in the chain game, so I can't really tell you how much it costs. But the visual of you with the chain is making me laugh.
Matt Denish, we'll ask him what's he going to do with his 250. He's a teacher. Teachers, what do they make? 80 these days?
If you've been there a bit, I would think, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably the salaries have raised a little bit.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I actually served as a substitute teacher in my community, growing up community in
Really?
Bristol. Yeah. Way back in the day, I had a friend of mine who was the principal of the middle school. And so the rule is, if you get a substitute teacher, has to have a teaching degree certificate. But if they can't find anybody that day, they can get anybody that has a degree. So he asked me several times to fill in. And it was pretty rough. I got to be honest with you. I don't know how teachers do it. Especially fifth grade. Oh, my God, I had a headache at the end. I taught like 3 straight days. There was one problematic kid that kept giving me a lot of crap. And I said, listen, man, if you keep this up, I actually had to threaten him with violence, which I wasn't going to,
Wow.
I said, listen, I'm going to grab you by the scruff if you don't stop this. And he said, no, you won't. And I said, yeah, why not? He goes, because you do that, I'll go home and get my daddy's sawed-off shotgun.
Oh, wow. Cards are back in his hand.
I go, what am I doing here? It was like $35. I'll get paid to substitute teach. What am I doing for the day?
Oh,
I had another kid I had to discipline because he stuck a sharp pencil on somebody's seat as they were sitting down.
Oh.
It was nightmare, man.
That is a nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
The ultimate student or substitute teacher experience.
He would call me and I go, listen, man, I'm sorry, Chuck. I can't.
I nearly went down that path.
You did?
Right? Right before I ended up producing Middays, I was like, well, I was doing a lot of evenings, weekend stuff. I was like, well, during the day, I'd go substitute teach. I could sign up to do that, make some money.
Yeah.
Then things changed.
If I was the president of this nation, and I think I'd be a pretty good president, I would mandate that all teachers start at 6 figures. They are severely underpaid for what they do.
They are. Totally agree.
Everybody gets 100,000 to start. Entry level.
You're not going to get me to advocate against teachers.
Yeah. So there you go. So that would obviously bring more qualified people into the profession because people don't go into it because they're underpaid.
Yeah.
All right. It's 11 o'clock. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Hey, I'm all about progress. You're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station. broadcasting live from the Xfinity studio, powering possibilities. That's funny. We always have that script that's taped up. Sometimes it's not taped up. Like, why is it taped up some days? Some days it's not taped up.
In the
Like
studio here?
that whole script. Now, I've memorized it, so it comes naturally to me. But I've seen it taped up on a screen before for the people that don't memorize it.
Yeah, I think we have some grabby hosts.
Okay,
Yeah,
what it is?
they grab at it, breaks, it falls off, then they got to
Really?
hold it, then they just put it
Why
down.
do they grab at it?
I don't know. Maybe it's tilted the wrong way. I've noticed that as well when I'm in there on the weekend and I see like it's,
Yeah, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's not.
yeah. I think it's a grab. I don't know who the grabby host is. That would be something that we would have to investigate around here.
Cooney.
You think it's Cooney?
Yeah, I think it's
Ooh.
Cooney. Cooney gets blamed for everything. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
It's incredible how much he gets blamed
He
for
does.
around
He gets
here.
blamed. And most of the time we're right.
Speaking of teachers, Kevin Cooney.
Yeah, we got a ton of text on this, but I'm going to go start the 11 o'clock hour with a phone call because Joe in Philly has a more optimistic view of your 76ers. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Mike, I don't want to view it as optimism. I don't think it's optimism at all. It's kind of evaluating the landscape of the Eastern Conference. When you think of the three players that just went down, they're all going to be out next year. With now Halliburton, no Boston. Those are top three teams, and I'm not afraid of the Knicks. I'm not afraid of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who else is left? Orlando Magic.
Uh-huh.
So I'm viewing it now as far as where the Sixers are on the hierarchy of the Eastern Conference. The Pacers made it to the finals. Nobody expected them to be there because they beat who was in front of them. So now all we have to do is hope for healthy players and whoever you get.
Hold it. All right, now hold it. Stop right there.
And consistent
Stop for a
and
second.
You had a legitimate shot because of where the Eastern Conference is. Anything can happen in the finals. As you can see, the Pacers was an Achilles away from NBA Finals, maybe. So you got to think, like, we're not that far off when you view what has happened this past season.
Okay, hold on a second.
Everybody picked OKC.
Joe, let me speak here.
The injuries,
Does
the
he not hear
collapse
me?
of the Knicks, and pretty much just good fortune at that point. So why can't that be the Sixers? Why can't that be us this year when we are one of the teams who were projected to be good last year and we get a good pick without showing what this team really can do with a healthy Paul George, healthy Embiid, healthy McCain, healthy Maxey, Quentin Grimes, which is another addition. Why can't this team be any good?
Are you done? He's not hearing me. For some reason, he's not hearing me.
Hello.
He's not hearing me. All right.
Wait, hold on, Mike. Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I tried to stop you several times there during your whole soliloquy.
I'm sorry. I got the headphones in.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I was saying, Joe. Slow down. Hold on. So the first thing you said was healthy.
My bad.
The first thing you said was healthy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
On what planet do you think this team's going to be healthy?
I would say, based off of the health of other teams, healthy looks a lot different this year.
No, but that doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with the health of other teams. What makes you think the Sixers are going to be healthy?
No, what I'm saying is compared to what healthy looks like. Healthy doesn't look like 82 games anymore. Healthy for the Sixers is Embiid half the season ready for the playoffs. Paul
All right.
George.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the people in Vegas are experts?
I would agree with that.
Okay,
Sure.
they know what you said about the injuries, and they still. This came out today. It's Cavs, Knicks, Magic, Celtics, and then way down in fifth are the Sixers. So why are the Sixers? Why don't they see what you see?
I think the same reason they didn't see the Pacers last year. The Pacers were in the same position the Sixers were in, an up-and-coming team. Got some new
The
pieces.
Pacers didn't have a 35-year-old center. They didn't have a 35 who has injury problems. The 35-year-old Paul George. They didn't have that.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, as far as you were talking about Vegas, what Vegas expectation is. They were wrong about the Pacers. They could be wrong about the
Yeah, but the
Sixers. They're not
Pacers were
perfect.
younger. It was easy. Like it was easier for the Pacers to achieve. They were a younger team. This Sixer team is beat. There's no interjection of youth with this team. McCain, the draft pick, they're not getting anything out of their draft pick this year. He's not going to contribute. I see. I promised I wouldn't do this. If that's your opinion, Joe, then that's your opinion. Just for the life of me, I just can't see how any reasonable mind could come out to the opinion that this team is going to be healthy, even if it's relative health. You have to get a good seed in the playoffs. You have to have a good regular season to do that. The Boston Celtics are going to be without their best player, and they're still miles ahead of the Sixers. Back to the text board.
Yeah, a number of people feeling what you're feeling right now. The Sixers, contenders. How about pretenders? Contenders have proven chemistry and consistency. The Sixers have neither. They're betting on Embiid's health, George's reputation outweighing reality, Maxey leveling up again, and a rookie or two magically becoming playoff ready. The Sixers could compete in the East, but compete doesn't mean contend. So the East isn't wide open, it's just wounded. They're finished. Dell from
I don't even
Newcastle.
know what compete means. Compete, like that's irrelevant. That word. Contend is the only word that's relevant. Can they? Who cares if they can compete? Anybody can compete from day to day. It's whether you can actually have any promise coming into a season. People that are kind of thinking because some people have Achilles tendon problems that the team stinks. The Indiana Pacers can play pretty well without Tyrese Halliburton. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Make a wish. Besides the,
I got one. I got a wish.
What do you got?
The health of the 76ers.
The health. What are you wishing for?
Specifically Joel Embiid.
Oh, you're wishing for good health.
Good health.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Why would I wish for bad health?
You just said you were wishing for health. I don't know what that means.
Has anyone ever wished for bad health?
No, but you got to be more specific when it comes to that. Like, what do you mean by wishing for good health? That he plays how many games?
65.
65. I'll take the under right now.
Yeah, obviously, it's a wish.
For,
I didn't say it was reality, Mike. You asked me to make a wish. I wished for something.
For rent money, right? I'll take the under.
You're trying to make me homeless and depressed about the Sixers.
Oh, by the way, the NHL draft party we got going. So you just heard about our NBA draft tomorrow, our plans, on Friday. And we had a representative from the Flyers on today. What was his name?
Todd Glickman.
So we had Todd Glickman on today. And he was pumping up this live broadcast with the Flyers leadership and alumni to celebrate the first night of the NHL draft. That happens Friday, June 27th, and from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Hard Rock Hotel Casino, Atlantic City. So if you're going down the shore, you get a little detour. You get down there Friday night. You go to the party. Tickets are $6 per person to commemorate the Flyers selecting 6th overall. Proceeds benefit Flyers charities. Complimentary food vouchers included, along with access to raffles and giveaways. Dan Hilferty, the Flyers honcho, will be there. Flyers head coach Rick Tocchet, Mark Recchi, Todd Fedoric. That would be Rex and the Fridge, as they're known in the locker room. Click the events page on our website, 975thefanatic.com, for all the info. So there you go. All right. Let's get back to the phones. A lot of people are chiming in today, and I like the fact that they're chiming in because I like these conversations. Al's in Georgia checking in. What's up, Al?
Mikey Miz.
Hello,
You're
Al.
Definitely on fire.
How you doing?
What's going on, baby?
You know, I get so annoyed at the con. You know, like this is a con that the Sixers are playing on people.
No, you're right. You're right. As far as them being healthy, you're totally right. Because Embiid's health is most likely shot, or if it's not shot, it's what. Like you said, 60 games.
We've seen the best of him. That's the problem.
Yes,
we've seen the absolute best that Joel Embiid is ever going to give us. We're not going to see any better.
Exactly. You're totally correct. So I saw Malawash play last year in the Olympics, and I was in love with him ever since then. So I'm like, draft him. I mean, probably not even trade down. Just draft him straight up at 3 because Edgecombe, I don't see, as you said, I don't see it either with Edgecombe. Never seen it at Baylor. So just draft Malawash at number 3 because if you trade down, how do you know he's going to still be available?
I agree. That, to me, you get something out of trading back. You'll get a little something you can use, a little draft capital, whatever it is, and you take the guy because you're going to have to phase Embiid out of here. And this is the type of center you win with anymore. Like, he's not going to be a golden offensive player right away, but he runs the floor.
Yes.
He reminds me of what Embiid looked like at Kansas, the body type.
Yeah, because Embiid is most of a runner and a shot blocker back at Kansas. You're right. But I'll definitely take Malawash because, as you said, the team as it is right now, it doesn't fit. The part just doesn't fit, you know, because you got 2 speedsters in the backcourt, and you got a Plot and Joel. So the team just is a match right now. You know?
I agree. I agree. Listen, a Dembona is a Dembona. Okay, he's not a star.
Yeah, no.
He's not a starter in this league.
No.
But Malawa
No way
can
in the
be
world.
a starter in this league.
Yes. You're totally right. And hopefully they'll take your opinion and do the right thing and draft Malawash.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Like again, Edgecombe is he their highest rated player? Probably at this point he is. But I just see too much Ricky Council in that kid. I don't know. Ricky Council does not know how to play, and Edgecombe I think is going to struggle to learn how to play as an NBA player, even though he's got a guy like that with great athletic ability has relied on that athletic ability his whole life. And he's jumping over people and doing this and getting to the basket and all that kind of stuff. The NBA shortens that a little bit. All right, let's go to Mike in Drexel Hill. Mike, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Mikey?
Interesting topic, especially in the middle of the baseball season, but it's so true. You were 100% right. I was very optimistic on it last year. But I've said this before about the big men. They don't last long. Smith, Yao Ming, you can go down. You can go back to Sam Bowie when he finally came back. He broke his leg in the layup line, I think in preseason, his other leg. I mean, the big men your bodies just aren't that.
You don't get healthier. Joel Embiid needed to have a significant weight loss, which he obviously can't pull off, to get him to look more svelte and be able to run the floor and put less stress. But he can't do that now at his stage.
No, if that's the only thing he could do. Is if he loses like 15 or 20 pounds and puts on a couple pounds of muscle, that'll help his knees because it'll be less. Each pound he has on his belly, 4 pounds of pressure on your knees, your lower
He needed to lose a lot more than 15, 20. He needed to completely transform his body into a sleek, like almost looking that, and you can't look like Giannis, but like that's the type of body type that I think can last longer.
And you can't move them. Nobody's taking that contract. They were stupid enough to give him the extension.
I still think there is somebody who can take that contract, who thinks they could be a contender, that would add a star like Embiid and think that he can push him over the top. You got to con somebody.
And let me give you a sleeper in the draft. I think he's drifted. And if you saw him, he ran the eye test. You always said the Khalid Love. He's 6'4.5", can shoot. His percentages aren't great, but he has.
You're talking about the kid from Arizona, former North Carolina kid.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's a very talented player. He's kind of a knucklehead, though. Maybe.
I mean, if he goes undrafted or he goes second round, he doesn't get.
Yeah, he'll be I think he'll be a first rounder, but I think he'll go deeper in the first round.
Yeah, they're projecting him late second, but I think he's going to creep up.
Yeah, that's not a bad call by you. All right. Yeah, I mean, listen, I wish we could turn back the clock, but we can't turn back the clock. And to think that Joel Embiid is suddenly going to emerge healthy and dominant again, the days are gone for that. They just are. I'm sorry. 610-632-0975 is how you climb in. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
3 with the Astros. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatics Sports Update. Tonight, the Phillies open up a 3-game series with the Astros in Houston. After the Mets lost last night, the Phillies have a 1.5-game lead in the division. They'll throw out Ranger Suarez tonight against Framber Valdez for Houston. The game starts tonight at 8:10. Tomorrow night, the 76ers hold the 3rd pick in the first round of the NBA draft. A lot of momentum has built for Baylor's VJ Edgecombe being the selection for the 76ers at 3. ESPN's Jonathan Giovanni reported as such on Monday and included that Rutgers ace Bailey may not be interested in being in Philadelphia.
Ace Bailey has had a workout scheduled in Philadelphia, canceled it, and is really sending signals that he does not want to be there in Philadelphia.
We'll see what they do at 3 again tomorrow night. We'll have live coverage of the draft from the Sixers facility in Camden on Wednesday night at 7:30. You can listen to that live right here on The Fanatic. Elsewhere in the NBA, Drew Holiday was traded for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks as Holiday making his way to the Trailblazers, and of course the Celtics getting Simons to the 2 second-round picks in that deal. And the Flyers made a deal yesterday acquiring center Trevor Zegras in exchange for Ryan Poehling, the 45th pick in Friday's draft, and a 2026 4th-round pick. This update is brought to you by the local Rheem Pro partners at the RheemTeam.com. When you want your home to feel like a dream, it has to be Rheem. Stay cool with a high-efficiency AC system from Rheem. RHEEM. Find your Rheem Pro partner at the RheemTeam.com. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
25 on the Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You can get in via text, via call, 610-632-0975. Let's take a detour from our heavy Sixer talk right now and welcome a man who competed in something called Fanatics Fest. It was a competition held at the Javits Center, New York City. It included 50 pro athletes and celebrity contestants and 50 fans who auditioned to earn a spot in the competition. And our guy, Matt Denish, a health teacher from York, Pennsylvania, finished third in the competition and wound up bagging $500. Is that what it was? $555? Let's welcome him. Matt Denish joins us. Matt, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic. Now take me through this here. First of all, the competition included 8 events. Major League Baseball pitching accuracy, NHL slap shot accuracy, NFL passing skills, NBA shooting competition, FIFA goal scoring shootout, and a UFC striking challenge, golf accuracy, and a WWD entrance contest. So what did you do for your WWE entrance?
So I went with Joe Hendry, and not being a big wrestling fan, wasn't so sure what that was going to entail. We had a list that we had to pick from, and I talked to a friend who was knowledgeable on the topic, and I only had a couple days to prepare, so I just went with it.
Well, this is a pretty amazing feat when you think about it. When you have 50 pro athletes in there and 49 other fans besides yourself. What gave you the idea to do this?
Being not huge on social media, but I do glance at Instagram every now and then, and I follow Michael Rubin, and being a former Sixers guy and everything. So it popped up. He's a great promoter and put out a ton of information on this event called Fanatics Fest, and it was the first year that they wanted to do a little game competition. And just being an athlete all my life, and just find myself in situations like this from time to time, and just want to have a little fun, getting older and looking for that competitive side every now and then. So I just thought maybe I have a chance.
All right, so you got good size. You're 6'6". You're a former basketball player in high school, and you actually ran. What did you do track wise in college?
I was a mid distance, 800-mile kind of guy.
Okay, 800 miles. So is that 6'6"? Is that a good size for a distance runner, or is that unusual?
That might have been part of the reason. Had a few injuries here and there, but yeah, it's not.
Right, so how good of a basketball player were you?
We had a really good team in the state of Pennsylvania. We finished up back then it was 4A, the large school. We were in the top 8 in the state. So really a lot of success just at the higher level as a team. I was able to do a lot of stuff. Grew 6 inches throughout my high school career, kind of a late bloomer, but definitely a contributor.
We're talking to Matt Denish. He's a health teacher at Red Line High School. And you went there, right? The Red Line as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so let's get into the competition part. First of all, were you nervous?
With my background, I was not too nervous. I felt that I had the ability of doing the skills. It took a lot of mental preparation. It's been a while since I competed at a higher level when I was in college, but just kind of bringing back those old thoughts and the mental side of sleeping in a hotel the night before, waking up and eating the right stuff, and just kind of going through that hype yourself up kind of thing and stay in the zone. And when I got there was other competitors, and they're just chatting and stuff. I'm like, I'm not talking. I'm focused. I'm doing this. If I'm here, I'm going all in. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I went out. They didn't know the order. The first event was the WWE, and that was the one I was stressing out the most about. So I was like, all right, let's just get that one out of the way, and then we went from there.
All right. So how much pitching experience do you have? How much a slap shot accuracy experience, passing skills? The NBA shooting competition, I assume you slayed, but you also had a goal scoring shootout, a FIFA goal scoring shootout, a UFC striking challenge. How much experience did you have with all this?
All right. So if I were to write everything up, and I kind of mentally thought, like, what events will I do well at? It was complete backwards of what ended up happening. I got one of my higher scores was from the WWE walkout. Like I said, no experience there. The UFC punching. I've never hit anybody or anything in my life. And I took a couple swings at a bag 2 days before, and I was like, "Ooh, that kind of hurts." But I went for it. I had one of the top scorers with that. And then the baseball, I did play baseball as a kid till 6th grade, and I've always been able to throw things. Like, I've always been talented. I was a quarterback in elementary school. But once I got into running, kind of went away from those things. Just throw a couple times a year with family members. Now, my dad, his father was a minor league, played a little minor league baseball. He grew up in the Pottstown area outside of Philly. So, just kind of being around sports all the time, always practicing. I always had the skill, but did not expect baseball to be my highest one. And unfortunately, this is going to hurt, but they do drop your 2 lowest scores, and basketball ended up being one of my 2 lowest scores.
Oh, my God. Oh, well, you obviously were accurate when you threw it, and the slap shot into the washer dryer, that was cool?
Oh, that was brutal. I don't even want to mention that one. That's one I dropped as well. That was a 0. I practiced during the week. I never lifted a hockey puck off the ground. I was able to get it with a little wrist shot. But when it came to competition, it was just the surface was different, and I couldn't get it off. I got one off the ground, and it didn't go in. So luckily, they did drop some low scores. That was one, and basketball was the other.
You had to send in an audition tape. How did you compile that? What did you put on that reel to get their attention?
Yeah, so I'm not much of a self-promoter. So I kind of knew that I had to come in at an angle that made myself look good, and I didn't really tell anyone I was doing this. And I started piecing some things together, and I told like 1 or 2 family members, and I had some footage from my high school days and my younger days, and I kind of pulled it all together. Didn't have much time, just about a week or so before I was leaving on vacation after school ended. And I had, dunks in high school and some throws in the backyard. I went over to my brother's house and just recorded a couple current things, and still dunking today at 39 years old. Threw that stuff in. We had a student versus teacher game years ago, and I ended up, all the kids wanted me to dunk. So I was like, okay, we had 5 seconds left in the game. I went down the middle. A student on the other team stepped in to take a charge and ended up going up over top of him and dunking it.
Oh, you posted him. You posted him.
I felt bad about that, but it's great footage. I put that in there. And then a little over a year ago, last game of the Sixers season, I went out and hit a half-court shot. So I had some decent footage to put out there. Being a Philly fan for Michael Rubin, I thought I had a decent shot at getting picked.
Well, you got in, and you got the third. So let's get now to the nitty-gritty. You get the gold card. Yeah. What was your response to that? That's kind of an unusual prize. But when you won that, what was your thought?
A little disappointed that I had not gotten second place.
The car was second place, right? The Ferrari.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even want that. I just, just the place-wise, I felt like I left points out there and I could have done better. But it all turned out to be, I think, the best situation, the attention I got from the third place prize, because I'm not a card collector, don't have memorabilia worth anything like that. So Tom Brady backstage was talking to me a little bit and asked me if I collect cards, and I said no, but he did not tell me he was going to try to take it off my hands. So when we were up there on stage and he made me the offer, it ended up turning out to be okay deal, I think.
$250,000. Now, my wheels would have been turning. Wow, maybe is this car worth more than $250,000? Did that thought cross your mind?
Well, the promotion on the advertisement did say kind of the value of things.
Oh, okay.
The car, they said, was $500. I think there was a cash option for that at $400, and then the card, it said it last sold in May for just under $200, around $200,000. So when he came in with that figure, and then of course Kevin Hart stepped in and said that he was going to help me negotiate and got a couple of things signed from Tom. I thought, you know what? I don't want to take this card out of here. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Someone will probably try to lowball me for if I want to sell it. So I figured it seemed like a fair offer.
Did he dip into his pocket and give you $250 cash? Did he write a check to you? Like, are you trusting him that he's going to send this to you? Like, how's this work?
So we got a bag of $1 million cash sitting on stage with us, and those guys, money's different to them. You had a couple multi-billionaires up there, and I just looked down and got to see a pile of cash in a bag, and So it was on display, and what ended up happening was when I accepted the offer, Ruben came over and he's like, "Hold this bag out," and he just counted off wads of cash till we got to $250,000, and then he said, "This is yours."
You took home $250,000 in cash in your pocket.
Well, he told me, he said, "We'll get you security and get out of here." I said, "I don't know." Okay. But it ended up, I talked to the finance guy, and he said that they would keep the cash and do a little wire transfer later on.
Okay. I get it. All right. So you could have really been a smart ass and told Brady, "Listen, man, I'm an Eagle fan. $500,000 this will cost you." That would have been awesome.
I know, right?
Yeah, but you took the 250. I think he thinks he got a good deal out of it. Matt, this is a fun story, man. Now you're going to be a hero back at Red Lion High School, right? When you show up in the fall.
It's already been a lot of attention. It's a smaller town, Red Lion, and like I said, I grew up here, so I've already kind of made a name for myself in some ways, and just adding this on top is kind of been snowballing out of control.
Now, will they invite you back to participate next year because you were a top 3 finisher?
I'm wondering. Competition, I think, is going to be tougher because of just the popularity it has from this time and the attention that I got from this. So we'll see. I would definitely go back if they invite me.
Congratulations, man. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
That's Matt Denish, who won the Tom Brady $250,000 in cash, by the way. How about that?
I'm taking that security.
You'll take the cash? You won't trust them to wire it to you?
Oh, yeah, I'm taking the cash, but you're going to give me the security detail, too, to get out of here.
So what are you going to do with the cash, then? You'd have to deposit it. You'd have to go to the bank anyway.
Yeah.
Were you going to keep it on your mattress?
Oh, take it to the bank.
Well, you just like the feel of the cash? You want to throw it off on your bed and dive on it? Is that what you would do with it?
Oh, if it takes as long
put
as
it
some
in
of
the bathtub and swim in it? Like, what would you do?
No, I'm just saying if it takes as long as some of the merchandise that Fanatics sells, I don't know when I'm going to get that money.
Oh, look at you. A shot at Mr. Rubin. Yeah. We'll wire it to you. It's going to take several weeks.
Yeah.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
And I don't like him tonight. The Astros are minus 150, which to me is a little telling. The Phillies have their right-handed lineup in here tonight. So you'll see the same lineup that they faced against Peterson with the following packed on the bottom of the order, Ray. Sosa, Kemp, Buddy Kennedy, and Rojas. I don't like it, Ray.
No. I mean, three of those guys, whatever. It's really Kennedy for me. Like, come on.
I know a lot of people. What has Kemp done to you? Well, he's going to be playing left field again tonight. I'm telling you, he's going to hurt you in left field. Not his fault. To throw a guy out there is ridiculous. But he's going to be out there playing left field. And he's really, now they're starting to figure him out. Have you noticed that pitchers are starting to figure him out?
Yeah. He's realizing, hey, it's a little tough up here.
A little tougher, especially right-handed pitchers when they're throwing that slider away from him. He just doesn't have enough major league experience with that pitch in the big leagues. So maybe he'll adjust. I mean, listen, he looks like enough of a decent athlete. He can run a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, the poor guy being thrown into left field in a major league game. I don't understand how you could just do that to somebody. Get an outfielder. All right. Anyway, I think the Phillies will win the next two, though. About 2 or 3. They'll take 2 or 3 in Houston. That's not bad.
I hope so.
They are ranked right now in the power rankings, number 2, right behind the Dodgers. Getting respect. Let's go to the phones. Reggie is currently in Moscow, Idaho. Our roving truck driver. Reggie, Idaho, huh?
Yeah, way up at the top of Idaho, Moscow.
Wow.
Idaho. Well, almost.
What's Idaho look like in a landscape? Flat?
Some nice hills, lots of green, and these are potato farms or lots of potato farms in Idaho. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Have, the Ida products, hash brown, any potato products in the Ida bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, Oregon, on the eastern side of Oregon, and most of Idaho is where these potato farms are, and they grow it here.
Yeah, no, I see that commercial. The little girl who grows her own potato. She finally gets the potato, and she puts it in the big pile. Well, girl, you earned that potato. Take that home. Come on, man. What's up with that? Seriously, she went all that effort. She puts it in the pile. Take it home. Make some mashed out of it. Come on.
Take many of them home because you can pick them up.
I know, man. The girl made an effort. I get it. All right.
Yeah. Oh man. So right before you came on, you said you asked a question in most of these Phillies fans' voices, and but Joe, and if we can do his voice with all his
he was optimistic. He was optimistic.
Yeah. That ain't optimistic.
Yeah.
You know, it's not necessarily, and almost possibly, and probably.
Yeah. He had 6 ifs. You can't contend if you're a 6-iffer.
And the not necessarily. That's Bill's.
That's
favorite phrase.
Bill's gonna listen. Bill's gonna take a lot of heat in this show today. We're gonna play his misguided stance on this team.
Yeah. And what was it earlier? I said, I said the reason Bill can't shoot or something you were talking about. I said, well, maybe the shirt sleeves are too tight around his shoulders, so he can't.
He's too restricted. He's too restricted. He wears compression gear. Yeah, he's a compression gear man. Tighter the better. You know, Bill would be today. It'll be 100 degrees. Bill, if he did mow a lawn, would mow it with no shirt. You know that, Ray?
Of course.
Yeah, it'd be a no shirter for him. But do you see that commercial I'm talking about? The little girl.
No, I was trying to look it up here.
She grows a potato, right? It's a commercial for potatoes. No, I don't know if it's or either or whatever. No, it might be a potato chip commercial. But anyway, the girl plants the thing. She got one potato. She grows the potato. She finally digs it up. And she puts it in the big pile of potatoes that are being shipped out of there.
Oh, yeah. It's a Lay's commercial.
It's a Lay's commercial. I'm going, man, sweat and toil with that potato. Take it home. It's your gift. You earned that potato. You know?
Unbelievable here. Yeah, they have enough potatoes. It's a whole
exactly.
truck full
it's a truck full of potatoes. She puts her one potato in there.
Oh, jeez. You'll be in charge of the family business. You'll grow enough potatoes some other time in your life.
Exactly.
Enjoy this one.
Take that home. Make some home fries.
One little
hash
potato.
brown, something.
One big dream.
There you go.
Come on. This commercial has her out in the rain. Also, the umbrella over the potato plant. Isn't that kind of counterintuitive?
Well, I don't know. The potatoes I think potatoes have to be dry grown. I don't know if moist is good for potatoes because then they grow eyes.
Well, then what? They have to cover up the entire field when it rained?
Well, no, but I guess they want to shelter. They don't like a lot of rain in potato fields, maybe.
I understand that. I just think the umbrella out in the rain's a little bit much.
Well, the girl's trying to protect her little potato growth.
Look, they got a whole truckload of it without protecting the other ones. If you're going to run the family business one day, you need to understand the business.
Do you have to dig up potatoes one at a time?
Well,
there's like 1 million potatoes that are shipped out of there.
Yeah, there's no way it's one at a time. Right? Well, they got the big
well, you can't
machine.
bruise the potato either. Like, the machine would bruise the potato, wouldn't it? Don't you have to just pick it up, pick it one at a time out of the earth?
There's so many potatoes already there. Why? Why?
Listen, think about all the potatoes that have to go. Think about every grocery store is stocked with produce beyond belief. One little grocery store in one community. You know all the food we produce for human beings in this country?
It's a lot.
It's incredible when you think about it. How do we produce enough food to feed our country?
I don't know.
Every little grocery store is stocked. It's amazing in America.
I'm taken by the fact there's an extended cut of this commercial.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, no, you could watch the 60-second, or they got a full 3-minute commercial here.
3 minutes?
Which
that ain't playing on TV.
I guess this was a Super Bowl commercial. This must this must cost as much as the
It's a cute little commercial. A little girl. I remember the first time I planted something. I couldn't wait for it to bear fruit.
Yeah, no, I remember the first time I planted tomatoes. It was a good time.
Yeah, now I can't. I'm very unsuccessful at growing tomatoes. I'm a disgrace to my culture. I don't know. The weather's been terrible this spring. My tomato plants have gotten a terrible start. They're not hardy. They're over wet.
Now it's out there with the umbrella protecting them?
Now it's overheat, and it's going to be worse. They're going to wilt.
Well, we only got another day of this heat, right?
It's not good, man. Not good.
I'm sorry.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Read with the Astros. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Tonight, the Phillies open up a 3-game set with the Astros in Houston. After the Mets lost last night, the Phillies now have a 1.5-game lead in the NL East. They'll throw out Ranger Suarez tonight against Framber Valdez for Houston. The game starts at 8:10. Tomorrow night, the 76ers hold the third pick in the first round of the NBA draft. A lot of momentum is built for Baylor's VJ Edgecombe being the selection for the Sixers at 3. ESPN's Jonathan Giovanni reported as such on Monday and also included that Rutgers' Ace Bailey may not be interested in being in Philly.
Ace Bailey has had a workout scheduled in Philadelphia, canceled it, and is really sending signals that he does not want to be there in Philadelphia.
We'll see how that impacts their plans at 3, and we will have live coverage of the draft from the Sixers facility in Camden on Wednesday night at 7:30. Elsewhere in the NBA yesterday, the Celtics sending Drew Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. A deal for the Flyers yesterday as they acquired Senator Trevor Zegras in exchange for Ryan Poehling, the 45th pick in Friday's draft, and a 2026 4th-round pick. This update's brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Get a wireless plan that saves you money and an extra trip. Switch to Straight Talk at your local Walmart while you shop for those little oranges the kids love. It's real unlimited data with real convenience. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Guess what's coming up in 5 minutes? The news at noon. In the meantime, we're talking Philadelphia 76ers. The draft's tomorrow. And I hate doing this. I don't want to dampen the enthusiasm of a draft where they've got the third pick, which I've already said I would trade back. I don't need the third pick. I really don't. There's nobody that's going to help me at the third pick, so I might as well get a little something, and then draft like 6 or 7 and get in that area, and I'll take a player. I think Malawak is my player. I think he's got a good future as a rim protector in this league. The rest I'm a little skeptical of, except for the first 2 players, which you're not going to get anyway. So let's go to Joe in West Philly, who's a little more optimistic than I am. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, what's up, Mikey?
What's up, Joe? How you doing?
You know what? I got 2 points. I think people are optimistic because, look, Joel and Paul George don't have torn Achilles tendons next to their name. They don't have torn MCA ACLs next to their name. Indiana fans already know there's no optimistic. It's over. Boston fans already know there's no optimistic. It's over. I understand he's been hurt and all that, different things like that. But, it's still, when it's, with nothing reported and it's still room to, I don't see how.
Yeah, but it's almost like they have torn ACLs. You're not going to get a whole season out of either of them. What's the difference? It's like you can in a lot of ways those teams are better. They can adapt now. The Boston Celtics are still good without Tatum, and the Pacers are still good without Halliburton. They proved they could play without Halliburton.
Oh yeah, I definitely know we can't play without Embiid, and that's proven for sure. But I don't think it's I don't think there's no room to erase optimistic when he doesn't have a catastrophic. It's been catastrophic, waiting for him to come back, but the guy doesn't really have any catastrophic injuries. He said he was supposed to get that surgery the year before that, and he was a year late. We go back and forth with that. But as far as the athletes you were saying, in my lifetime. My super athletes who were in the top 5. Dwayne Wade was a crazy athlete at Marquette. When he came out at Marquette, he was one of the best athletes I've ever seen in college.
Yeah, but he could also play. Dwayne Wade
he was 22. Dwayne Wade he was a 22-year-old.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He was sound. He was sound in basketball concepts when he came out.
This kid, not defending anybody. And Vince Carter was another one. Vince Carter was like second fiddle at North Carolina. Remember Antoine Jameson was the man scoring all that. Vince was catching dunks and alley-oops and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then when that draft came, he still went ahead.
So you're okay. You're okay with drafting edge coming. It sounds like.
I'm saying I'm okay with draft. I don't think just an athlete. It's just an athlete disqualifies you. I know some guys. I was like that as a kid. I thought everybody who could fly was going to be the next Michael Jordan or something like that. But I just remember Vince Carter wasn't that polished a player.
Yeah, he brought a couple guys. I get it. You're making good points on both those players, but they're also examples. They're not the rule. They're the aberration, maybe.
Exactly. But I know this guy is, sniffing the top 5, top 3.
These guys don't play enough. They don't play enough. You're talking about guys like Vince Carter. You had a significant college career that you could evaluate him. Dwayne Wade, same thing. These guys are coming out because they were projected high school stars, and they played 1 year, and they weren't that effective in that 1 year. They were okay. They didn't light it up. Like Cooper Flagg, even listen, you can see the merits of Cooper Flagg. He's going to go number 1. And Dylan Harper, you could see the merits of him. The rest of them, I can't see the merits of. So why would I stay there at 3 when I can gain something else and still get a player who can help me? Edgecombe can help me. He's 3 years down the road of helping you, in my opinion. Maybe somebody you take at 7 would be 3 years down the road. But you also get something extra because you made that trade. All right. 610-632-0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. You're listening to it on WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. And we're broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. It is noontime, everybody, so enjoy your lunch over another rendition of the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
News at noon starts today with a basketball beef and a commentator beef I love the beefs, especially when it comes to the guy who has the biggest rabbit ears in the history of professional sports, Kevin Durant. What do we got here, Ray?
Yes, Kevin Durant on the move to Houston, and of course, all of the national shows reacting to that trade on Monday, including Emmanuel Acho on Fox Sports, one who came up with his own legacy formula. Spoiler, that formula does not favor Kevin Durant. And now we have Durant and Acho going back and forth. Let's take a listen to Acho's formula and how it plays against Kevin Durant.
I have a very simple legacy formula. It's very simple. I was not great at math. You don't have to be for it. It's simple. Championships divided by teams you played for is how great your legacy. The higher the number on the far right column, the greater your legacy is. As you can see, Kobe Bryant, 5 chips, 1 team. Tim Duncan, 5 chips, 1 team. Steph Curry, 4 chips, 1 team. LeBron James, 4 chips, 3 teams. Obviously, notably left off there's Michael Jordan, but y'all get it. Y'all can do the math. The number of championships you win by the teams you play for, to me, is your legacy. Dirk Nowitzki, 1 championship, 1 team. But now KD, 2 championships, but he's been on 5 teams at this junction in time. Your legacy is dependent upon how many championships you win and how many teams that you have to play for to do it. The more you travel, the more you water down your legacy.
So, that obviously doesn't play to the favor of Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant saw this because he's online just like the rest of us and said, according to the great Kevin Durant's legacy formula that was created at the best labs at MIT, Emmanuel is the worst linebacker of all time. You sure you want to listen to this guy about greatness?
See, here's the problem. Kevin Durant's like 12. He reacts to everything with a red ass. It's like, dude, you're great, all right? Everybody knows you're a great player. Why do you have to swim in the swamps of the Achos of the world? You know? First of all, the league is so different anymore. Acho's formula is archaic. It's like, these guys go to where they can win a championship. That's what their legacy is. They want to win championships, and they want to. It's like at the YMCA. You want to have the best guys on your team so you can keep playing on a Saturday morning, right? So he's going to go to Houston. They got a chance to win. He may win there.
Yeah, I mean, also go through the other names that how many teams did Shaq end up on? Shaq's legacy tainted by the fact that he ended up on all those teams?
No, it didn't change Shaq's legacy.
Yeah.
It is going to change LeBron's legacy?
No.
Well, LeBron he's been with, to count Cleveland twice, 4 teams.
3 organizations.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, the legacy is determined by your greatness as a player. Charles Barkley didn't change teams once. He was a Hall of Fame player. He's got a great legacy. He didn't have any championships, but he still has a great legacy.
Yeah, 0 divided by the number of teams is still 0.
Exactly.
Shout out Charles, though. We love him. All right. Keeping it with basketball here. Gilbert Arenas was asked by Dan Patrick what this finals would be remembered for.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. We won't. No, let's just be honest. When it comes to small market teams, we really don't remember much about them. We don't really talk about the Toronto championship. We don't really talk about the Bucks Giannis championship. And with this one, I mean, the only memorable thing was Hallie game winner, game 1. Other than that, there was nothing in this finals that makes you say, oh my God, this was the great finals. And let's put it up there with the top 10 of all time. It's not. It didn't have none of those moments.
I hate to say it, he's right. I mean, my interest diluted watching this series completely because it was Indiana and Oklahoma City, even though they're 2 really hard-playing teams that played defense and really went at each other. I just wasn't interested in the dynamic. I guess that makes me a shallow lout. Yeah. But I think that Gilbert Arenas is right about it.
The tough thing is, I enjoyed the early portion of this series, but then 5 and 6 really didn't feel like games. And then 7, Halliburton gets hurt early on. It's like what should have been a signature finish to a finals that started out with the intense back and forth didn't really get the conclusion it deserved.
No, but let's look at the bright side as far as the Pacers go. Don't shortchange T.J. McConnell. Don't shortchange Tej. All Tej will have him. Tej will get more playing time next year, and the world of T.J. admirers will say, see, look, he's taking that team. Halliburton's not there, and he's taking them, and he's lifting them to these great heights. What happened to all the TJ supporters? Even in Vegas, he doesn't have any. He's going to step in next year, right?
Did he rent a property you own and trash it? Did he egg your car when he was younger?
No, I'm just saying they got what they wanted. Now he's going to get more playing time. That spunky little TJ.
Did he stand us up for an interview?
The Pacers will still be good because they got Tej.
Did he stand us up at some point? Is he supposed to come on?
Not at all. He was actually on with me way back in the day, and I explained to him. I said, I haven't been your biggest fan. He goes, I've heard. But he was civil about it.
Yeah, that's nice of him.
There's only one thing that I don't like about him. You know what it is. I've said it many times. I don't believe that a Caucasian man that does not have the ability to shoot beyond 8 feet.
I think I have a Sixer that you despise more.
I'm embarrassed as a Caucasian.
I think I have a Sixer that you don't like more.
What?
That'd be Paul George. Podcast P this morning, dropping. And we get some of his takes on the NBA draft. Here he is talking about the Ace Bailey
He loves himself
situation.
some Ace Bailey, doesn't he?
If I'm Ace Bailey, I can't get mad if my stock drops. You know what I mean? I can't get mad if my stock drops. But he's canceled all workouts. He hasn't worked out for any team. So I don't.
One team?
No,
that's crazy.
He hasn't worked out for any team. So I think they made a big deal because we were scheduled to work him out, and he canceled the day of. But he hasn't worked out for any team. But you're not in a position to be making those demands. You know what I mean?
Not
make
even
it to
there
the league
yet.
first.
Yeah,
You know
you're not
what I
even
mean?
there yet.
Or the people around him.
It's for sure the people.
Of course, the people around
the
him.
people around him. I think he's.
Mama and daddy's playing manager.
I don't know who's representing him. I don't know who's representing him, but if I don't think they're going about it the right way. I don't think they're going about it the right way.
Is that Kevin Hart cackling in the background?
No.
Who was that?
One of his co-hosts.
Oh, one of his I actually think Paul George is wrong. I really do. I think Ace Bailey knows that he's ranked as the third highest player in this draft, and he doesn't have to work out for anybody. Why would he work out for anybody? What's he have to prove? People are still going to take him. He's not going to drop because he canceled workouts. People are still going to take a chance on him because of the upside, and we'll play that with Jay Billis coming up a little later. 610-632-0975. That is the news at noon. You want to climb in, talk about this 76er situation? See, here's folks, why I'm saying this whole thing. Because in my view, fan base discontent can equal pressure to act. So we don't have to be optimistic all the time when we don't feel optimistic. And that's where I am right now. 610-632-0975. We are back after this. 12:12. Mike Missanelli Show. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. Would you rank air conditioning? It's 100 degrees out there, by the way. Would you rank air conditioning, Ray, as the greatest invention of the last 100 years?
When did we get indoor plumbing?
All right, let's just say 50 years then.
Yeah. In which case,
What is a better invention than air conditioning? Now, first of all, do you like it? Can you stand the overly hot or the overly cold? Which would you prefer?
I prefer the overly hot.
You prefer the overly hot?
Yes.
Because you can get cool.
Correct. And
But
that's
you-
mostly because I guess I can get cool because of air conditioning.
Yeah. See, I like the overly hot too. The overly hot doesn't bother me. Like I heard Kincade say, Mike's probably going to go to the golf course today. I'm not going to the golf course today, but I don't mind playing golf in this kind of weather.
Yeah, no, you're crazy for that.
Why?
I wouldn't play 18 in this.
Because you're nice and loose, man. There's nothing better than to be loose. And in hot weather, you're just loose.
Yeah, I'm good on
Flexible.
that.
You're more flexible.
Like I was walking around last night. I met a friend, as we typically do Monday night, and got together for a drink or two. And when I was walking home, I was like, the heat earlier sucks, but the fact that it's this hot still when I'm walking home, this feels kind of nice.
It does. Feel kind of nice.
Yeah.
I sat outside last night, had a nice little cigar. It was hot. Well, I'm like, how can you smoke a cigar in hot weather? Well, what's the difference?
I saw a guy pouring hot sauce onto his taco on my walk on 2nd Street last night, and I thought that was a pretty bold guy sitting outside eating hot sauce.
So, air conditioning or the cell phone?
Oh, air conditioning.
Air conditioning or GPS?
Ooh.
What did we do without GPS? You remember what we did?
No, actually.
So, all right, I'm going to tell you what we did. The laptop came before the cell phone. So the laptop, you go to Google Maps, and it would tell you how to get from place to place. You put the address in, boom, boom, and then you would print that out and take the printout into your car to get from one place to another.
Oh, that'd be so brutal. Are you also...
That's what you did.
Reading and driving, too? That seems a little dangerous.
Exactly. And now it's like, you hook in your Google, your Apple Play, boom, right in there. You can never get lost ever again. Think about that.
Air conditioning probably helps more people, live point blank. Like you kind of need it. Some people to regulate.
A lot of people don't have air conditioning.
I understand. Do not everyone have GPS? Depending on the car you drive, you don't have a GPS.
Let me ask you this question. Does anybody still put air conditioning? I guess if you have an old place, you put those window air conditioners in.
I was looking at
Do
places
they still
in
sell
Fishtown.
those? Really?
Yeah, when I was looking at places in Fishtown, some don't have the actual inside air. You have to get the units.
And put them in the window.
Yeah.
And it's we used to have those as well, way back in the day. I didn't have central air in my house, so we had this big air conditioner that we had to cool the whole house. And it's like nightmare to put it in. But you wonder, they used to be like 1,000 pounds, the old air conditioners.
Mm-hmm.
And you just wonder how that just closing down the window on it would keep it in there.
Well, yeah, I always would have the concern of, especially if you're on the sidewalk side of the home, accidentally knocking it out and crushing someone.
Exactly.
I would not.
17,000 BTUs, Ray. Cool the whole house.
What did it crush?
No, we had one of those, right? My father refused he would refuse to leave it in all year.
So he'd take it out.
We would take it out, and it would have the shell, and so it slide it out of the shell, and then you have to carry it down into the basement. It was a freaking nightmare. You said to him, why don't you just put a cover on the outside of it? No, we got to take it out. It'll ruin the air conditioning.
Yeah, the cover one seems to make sense.
Oh, it didn't make sense to him. Everything was by the letter.
Well, I guess if it would ruin it, that's money down the drain. You don't want to put money down the drain there.
Yeah.
I could see
old Italians never put money down the drain.
Yeah. No.
It would never happen. All right. Remember I was telling you about whether this was a DB move? You ready for you got the theme song up?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, hit the theme song. DB or not, let's play it. All right, so I'm at the grocery store the other day, Sunday morning, 11:30. I see a guy, he's looking for stuff he's got his kid with him, and he's looking to buy, he's going through the aisle. He's got a ceramic coffee mug that he's taking around that he brought from his house. DB or not?
Oh, no.
No?
No. Like you're talking about a little...
Wait, you take in a ceramic coffee mug?
Like a mug, like a regular mug?
A mug.
Yeah.
Now, there's a Starbucks inside the place. I don't know if he brought the coffee in with him with the mug or he got the Starbucks to fill the mug. In either case, why would you bring the mug in?
So, to be clear here, we're not talking about one of those covered ones where you're walking around.
No,
we're talking about
a regular
mug.
ceramic mug that had an advertisement on it.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, no.
You're fine with it?
Yeah.
Why would you bring a mug from home into a grocery store?
Because you got to drink your coffee.
Well, they got cups. They have you buy coffee at the Starbucks. They got to give you a cup.
Wait, why would you buy coffee if you have coffee at home?
Because you're going in to play. I'm sure he bought the coffee at Starbucks, but brought the mug in to put the Starbucks coffee in.
Oh, well, then do you get a deal on the...
No, you don't get a deal.
Some of the places you bring your own mug, you get a deal.
Oh,
there's sustainability.
There's no deal at Starbucks.
I'm almost sure there's a deal.
There is not a deal. Can you pour it in this mug? That's what the deal was.
Customers will now be able to use their own clean personal cups at stores in the U.S. and Canada.
Oh, well, of course you can use it. My question is, you got to take the mug, you got to bring it in the car, you got to lug it into the thing, and just to have your coffee in a mug?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, wait. Returnable cup. I'm trying to see what...
Does anybody do that? Does anybody bring in their own coffee mug into a grocery store?
Yeah, I think this is normal. I mean, I don't do it specifically because I don't have my own mug that I use in that way.
Totally not normal. In fact, when you have the shopping cart, there is a little circular metal thing that you place this type of coffee in with the paper cup that you get at Starbucks. It can't fit the mug. So you got to lug the mug around.
Yeah, you've made the decision to lug it around. That's your own personal choice on that one. You
don't find that odd?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I know people are going to find this odd on a text board. Definitely.
All right. Well, let me early return on
What are
the
the
chat
early
board.
returns? To bring a coffee mug into a grocery store.
Yeah, no, they're all against you.
They're all against me?
Yeah.
What kind of an inconvenience is to bring your own mug in there? Where do you put the mug? When you're checking stuff out, where do you put the mug?
Where do you
put it? You have to put it on top of the register?
Yeah, anywhere.
It's an inconvenience. Why would you...
Mike, if you bought the coffee there, you still got it in a cup. You got to put it somewhere.
You throw it away.
Not if you're not done
finished. You finished the coffee. That's the idea of having the coffee. You drink the coffee as you're shopping. By the time you shop, the coffee's gone.
You're chugging the coffee, Mike?
You're not chugging it. How long does it take to drink a cup of coffee?
You're the same guy that doesn't buy more than 20 items. How long does it take you to shop?
It takes me about 20 minutes to a half hour. You can't finish a cup of coffee in that?
20 minutes to find 20 items?
20 minutes to find 20, because I'm a sophisticated shopper, right? I price shop.
Oh.
I take my time.
Yeah, no.
All right.
I find what I need, I get out of it.
No DB today. 610-632-0975. How about if it said, world's best dad?
You got to use the Father's Day gift at some point, don't you? You got it last
week. The mug
week.
says, world's best dad, DB or not.
Got it last week. Out with the kids? Yeah, use it in front of them once.
Tony's on hold. We'll get to Tony. We'll get to your text about the 76ers. We're going to go over a mock NBA draft. I believe that the Sixers should trade back tonight. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatics Sports Update.
3 with the Astros. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatics Sports Update. Tonight, the Phillies open up a 3-game series with the Astros in Houston. After the Mets lost last night, the Phillies have a 1.5 lead in the division. They'll throw out Rangers Suarez tonight against Framber Valdez for Houston. Game starts at 8:10. Tomorrow night, the 76ers hold the third pick in the first round of the NBA draft. A lot of momentum is built for Baylor's VJ Edgecombe being the selection for the 76ers at 3. ESPN Jonathan Giovanni reported as such on Monday and included that Rutgers Ace Bailey may not be interested in being in Philadelphia.
Ace Bailey has had a workout scheduled in Philadelphia, canceled it, and is really sending signals that he does not want to be there in Philadelphia.
And we'll see if the 76ers stay away because of that. We'll have live coverage of the draft from the Sixers facility in Camden on Wednesday, starting at 7:30. Elsewhere in the NBA, yesterday Drew Holiday was dealt to the Portland Trail Blazers from the Boston Celtics. In return, Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks going to Boston. And the Flyers made a deal yesterday, acquiring center Trevor Zegras in exchange for Ryan Poehling, the 45th pick in Friday's draft, and the 2025 4th-round pick. This update's brought to you by ExpressPros.com. Tired of feeling alone in your job search? With just one connection, you can find endless job opportunities. That connection is Express Employment Professionals. Visit ExpressPros.com. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Couple Sixer topics are on the board. One, the underlying question: how many Sixer fans really believe that they could reemerge as contenders in the East? The odds in Vegas have the following teams in front of them: Cavs, Knicks, Magic, Celtics at plus 550, and the Sixers are next at plus 1100. So a wide gap between the Celtics 4 and the Sixers 5. They do have the Sixers ahead of the Pacers and the Pistons, however, which I don't know about that. The Bucks at plus 2,300 also have an Achilles problem. I heard the morning guys talking about the Achilles situations. There was a statistic that the Achilles tendon factor from, I guess, was measured from 1973. It averaged out to one Achilles injury per year. And this year, or from last year, this year, they've had 8. So what is the reason for it? Well, a lot of the people are saying the reason for it, well, first of all, the pace is a lot faster. And the athleticism, the jumping and the running in this game is at an all-time high. That might be a factor. The other factor a lot of people are saying is the people wearing the low-top shoes. And I heard John say, well, they wear the low-top shoes for style mostly. Well, it might have something to do with that, but it also has to do with you're quicker. This is a quick league. It's all about quicker. You're quicker with low tops than you are with high tops. Just think about a boot restriction as opposed to a low top. It goes without saying that you're going to be a little quicker in the low top. So even guards that are taking the ball hard to the basket are wearing low tops because they have to shift a little quicker. That may be a reason for it. But in any event, the Sixers, I can't believe that they could reemerge as an East contender, and a lot of people, I think, agree with me. And then, of course, you have the draft tomorrow night and who they're going to take and whether they would trade out or they take 3. Jonathan Givony, who we had, was he on the morning show? Or was that just a tape of him?
Yeah, just tape.
Okay,
yeah.
So here's the way the draft is going to go. Cooper Flag's going to go number 1. I like these statistics here. Standing reach is 8 feet 10 inches. Wingspan 7 foot. Get to the 2 pick. Dylan Harper. Standing reach is 8 feet 6 inches. Wingspan. What do you think, Ray?
Oh,
Dylan Harper.
Wingspan.
Cooper Flag is 7 foot wingspan. Dylan Harper
6'8".
6'10" and a half.
Wow.
That's why I like this kid. He's long. He slows the game down. I like him a lot. All right, now it says the Sixers will take V.J. Edgecombe. 4th pick, Knippel goes to the Hornets. The Jazz take Jeremiah Fears, the point guard from Oklahoma. The Washington Wizards take Ace Bailey, and that's where he wants to play. He's from that area, or where is he from? He's from Tennessee. In any event, the Wizards, he would play a lot of minutes with the Wizards, so that might be better for his development. The Pelicans, Trey Johnson, Amy Fadul likes Trey Johnson a lot, the shooting guard from Texas, and the Brooklyn Nets, Malawak from Duke, the 7-foot center. Wingspan, Ray. Height without shoes, by the way. Height without shoes. 7 3/4. Standing reach, 9 feet 6 inches. Wingspan, 7 6 3/4. Well, I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Rim protector from day one. And that's about all you're going to get. The rest are schlemiels being taken. The Toronto Raptors take the kid from Germany. Noah Esenekwe, or whatever, however you pronounce that. All right, so Jay Billis was on with our pal Johnny Sunshine. And Jay had his views on Ace Bailey. So let's hear what Jay Billis had to say about a prospective 76er pick.
I think it's a choice between V.J. Edgecombe of Baylor and Ace Bailey of Rutgers. Bailey he's 6'8" or so, has a 7-foot wingspan. He's got the higher ceiling as a player. He averaged like 18 points a game. He's a really tough shot maker. He can take challenge shots and make them, and he can create his own. You can sometimes question his shot selection. I tend to look at that as supreme confidence. But he's got the highest ceiling of players that'll be available at number 3. VJ Edgecombe of Baylor is a wing, and he's probably the most athletic wing in the draft. Kind of high flyer, really good vertical, excellent in transition. He goes after the offensive glass, and he's a multi-positional defender that can be really impactful on the defensive end as a wing. He can make a standstill 3. I think he's got some growth there, but he kind of reminds me, and I'm saying this at 19, if you compare when these guys were 19, he reminds me a little bit of Victor Oladipo at 19, and he reminds me a little bit of Dwayne Wade at 19. Now, obviously, those guys went on to be a hell of a lot better later on than they were at 19, but I think that's the sort of trajectory that is possible for BJ Edgecombe because he has those kind of measurables right now.
Well, Dwayne Wade, Depot, but if he's got Dwayne Wade ability, I just think it's going to take him a few years in this league. I just don't think he's just too wild right now. All right, 610-632-0975. We got Tony's been hanging for a while. Tony, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Tone?
What's up, Mikey Miss?
How you doing, buddy?
Do you remember, I'm going to take you down memory lane, you said to me, Tony, do you have a crystal ball or something? Every year you do it. And I did it again with Andrew Makuba going to the Eagles in the second round. But for the Sixers, listen, Mike, I'm telling you, VJ Edgecombe has flashes of Anthony Edwards. They got to take him with the number 1 pick. And number 2, Yang Hansen. I call him Yao Ming's little brother. You get the backup center you need. They can get a couple of solid pieces, but you have to take Edgecombe. He's the most athletic, as my man just said. They got to take him without a doubt. They're the pieces that they need.
They're probably going to take him. Like I say, I would trade down because I like Malawak. I think he could be a really good rim protector in this league.
He can't really put the ball on the floor, though. He can't do anything. I mean, he rebounds, he blocks shots, and he dunks the ball, but he can't.
Yeah,
he can't
there's a lot of centers that can't put the ball on the floor that have that kind of build. Like Robinson in New York was a very valuable player for them. He can't put the ball on the floor.
But we're going to see, man. It's just good talking to you.
All right, man. You got it. Thanks, Tone. Appreciate it. There he is, Tone. Who was that the second guy he said?
Think he was going second round on us?
Yeah, what was the player he mentioned? I'm going to try to look him up here. Didn't get it. Yang? Hanson Yang. Is that what he said?
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, that's the kid from China. Yeah, he's an early second round project. The Sixers are projected in the second round to take Yannick Conan Niederhauser, the kid from Penn State, the center.
Oh, yeah, let's
play it. Yeah, I don't know about that. Not feeling it. 610-632-0975. Take a break. We'll come back. We got a lot of reaction with the coffee mug. See, here's the thing. You know he didn't bring the coffee into the grocery store. Of course, how else would you fill a ceramic cup and drive to the grocery store? It's not a lid. There's no lid on it. So he would have had to buy that in the store with his own mug, which I say, why bother? Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and coming up at 2 o'clock
Doing one of the previous breaks, Brandon came in and videotaped a little thing with me that they posted online, right? So people are taking exception of the fact that I think it's crazy for Sixers fans to believe that they could reemerge as an East contender. And so this guy goes, never nothing positive, always negative. How in the world can you sit here and be positive about what the Sixers are right now? Seriously. What am I going to pull wool over your eyes? Are you blinded? Like what positivity is coming out of the Sixers right now? Now, if a miracle happens and everybody remains healthy and Paul George turns back the clock, well, then I'll address it then. But right now, what are we talking about being positive? There's another guy. This dude is full of nothing but garbage and outdated takes. Why is that an outdated take? It's outdated to think that the Sixers have messed up this whole situation? Come on, man. Stop it. 610-632-0975. All right, let's get back to the text board where we have plenty of DB or not reaction on bringing a ceramic coffee mug into a grocery store as you're doing your shopping.
Yes, we got a texter here. If you put the coffee in a covered mug, it never cools down, maybe too hot to drink while you shop. I've seen someone eating a bowl of cereal while driving. Now that's a DB move.
Okay. What about the cooling part?
If it is a covered mug, it might not cool down by the time you're done shopping.
It's not a covered mug. It's a mug. It's a regular ceramic mug that you would be at home, pour your coffee into. It's not covered.
I don't know if I go total DB, but it's definitely a stretch to bring your own mug into public places. You got loose hot coffee and what? It's a little too much. I agree with Mike overall, but I will say in their defense, coffee tastes much better in the ceramic mug.
It does?
Yeah, for sure.
No, it does.
It does, 100%.
It does not.
It absolutely does. Starbucks is overpriced. Bring your own cup. Reduces waste. Open coffee mug. You don't burn your tongue.
You're missing the point. You're buying the Starbucks coffee in the grocery store. You're not bringing in your own coffee because you would have had to have transported that coffee in the ceramic mug, which you would never do. So you would bring the mug in, buy the coffee at the little Starbucks place that's inside the grocery store, and then take that around the grocery store. That's my point. It's not covered.
I'm going to blow your mind here, Mike.
Go ahead.
I did the ceramic mug thing on the drive here for quite a while. No cover.
How did you manage that?
Oh, you just drive safe.
You don't drive. Stop it. You're spilling that coffee.
Nope.
There's no way you cannot spill. First of all, ceramic mug does not fit in any slot.
I know. I broke the cup holder.
So what you rested on the seat, the passenger seat?
No. It's in the cup holder now.
You're driving one-handed? Oh, wait. There's no way that the bottom of that cup fits into your mug hole.
It does.
It does not.
It does.
I'll
take a picture of it.
You have to show me video of that.
Yeah, well, it broke.
You broke the handle so you can fit it in?
I broke it. It was like a little plastic piece, like not the handle portion of it, but the side of it. Yeah, it's broken.
The base doesn't fit in. Well, you must have a narrow base.
Oh, yeah, narrow base.
What more coffee mug has a narrow base?
It's a normal coffee mug.
It's like a stovepipe.
No, it's
coffee mug.
It's a very normal mug. It looks like a mug. It acts like a mug.
Now, you're telling me
it's coffee
you used
like
to bring your coffee in here in the ceramic mug?
Oh, no. It'll be done by the end of the drive.
It'll be done by the end of the drive.
Yes. No, I didn't come up here with the coffee mug.
You can't buy yourself a covered, Yeti?
No, I have.
Mug?
Yeah, I have.
You wouldn't bring that in?
No, I lost the one that I had. I think I left one here by accident.
I got several of them at home. You want?
It's okay.
For your transport?
No, I don't do it anymore. But I did it there for a while.
The only problem is it's metal. Coffee doesn't taste as good as metal.
It doesn't. No, the mug. I agree with that. The mug is A1.
All right, keep going with this.
What? The fact that I did it?
No.
The text line. Well, I got people now on the how'd you avoid potholes on the way? That was a difficult thing. That's when I would pick up the cup.
Yeah, see, there's no way anybody who has a reasonable mind would think to transport a cup of coffee in a ceramic mug in your car. There's something wrong with you.
You're
drive spill it all over your seats, spill it on the floor. It's going to drip all over in the console, the whole bit.
Nope. It all works itself out. I drive an hour every morning with a ceramic mug. It's called driving with one hand. Now, I'm not
driving with one hand while you're drinking a ceramic mug. That's real smart. That's very dangerous, by the way.
I didn't say to do that.
What happens if you have to jerk the wheel to avoid somebody? Coffee all over the place.
I got a lot of stoplights on my drive. I don't take the highway here, Mike. I go the back roads.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some people saying that you're yelling at clouds here with this one.
I'm yelling at clouds.
That's what
I
we're getting.
merely brought it up as a DB or not. I thought it was very unusual that the guy would take the time to transport a ceramic mug into the grocery store just to have a Starbucks coffee put in the mug so he could walk around and shop. Thought it was very odd.
People are coming back with the sustainability argument here.
Sustainability.
Yes, that's a sustainable.
So the cups are recycled anyway that you get at Starbucks.
Are they?
Yes. If you're congenial enough to actually put it into the recycled place, the recycled receptacle, which it's right there for you.
Right where?
At the Starbucks.
So you have to walk back to the Starbucks to recycle.
Well, you're walking around the grocery store. Eventually, you're going to lap yourself around and go near where the Starbucks is because that's where you came in.
I mean, it's off to the side. The checkout takes you right to the door.
You're paying the ass today, right?
I'm just telling you.
You are a pain in the ass.
I think you're...
Let's go to Eric in San Diego. Eric, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Eric.
How y'all doing, Mike?
What's happening, Eric?
I'm okay. Listen, I hope Daryl Morey plays hardball like he played with Ben Simmons when he was willing to give up the whole 3 years of his career if he didn't get a trade. So if I was Daryl Morey, I would draft Ace Bailey, and I would use him for Washington, the Pelicans, and New Jersey as bait to get the highest trade package I can get, and that would be one of the picks, a player, and a pick swap in a future
that's
draft.
not actually a bad idea. If you draft him as the highest evaluated player, and then you make a trade, that's not bad. Now, who would you get in the trade?
I would be eyeing the Pelicans. I would go after Herb Jones, the number 7 pick, and I would look to get a pick swap in one of the drafts, maybe top 3 or top 5 protected. And the player I would get is either Malawak or Trey Jones, Trey Johnson from Texas.
I kind of like that, Eric. I think it's a good plan. So you would take Ace Bailey and know people covet him, and then make that deal quickly.
I would first see who gives me the most, and then I would be really eyeing the Pelicans because I like Herb Jones' defense, and I think he could contribute right away to the winning of the Sixers.
All right, sounds good, Eric. I like it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, buddy. There you go. What do you think of that one, Ray? That's not actually a bad plan. Take a guy to trade him.
Yeah.
Got the most value. You could squeeze a lot of stuff out of a team that wants him.
I would rather that trade be made before he's a 76er.
Yeah?
Because everyone knows that he doesn't want to be a 76er.
Yeah, but...
So once you make that draft pick...
They still covet him. The team still behind you still covet him.
They will still covet him, but I'd rather you give up 3, let someone come in to take him at 3, than draft him and wait and see, who might want this guy? Because then they're like, well, you have him now. If he's not going to want to play for you, that's going to be a problem for you.
All right. On the other side, Bill Collarula, our buddy, his horrendous take on the Sixers after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Ray with the Astros. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Tonight, the Phillies open up a 3-game series with the Astros in Houston. After the Mets lost last night, the Phillies have a game-and-a-half lead in the NL East. They'll throw out Ranger Suarez tonight against Framber Valdez for Houston. That game tonight at 8:10. Tomorrow night, the 76ers hold the 3rd pick in the first round of the NBA draft. A lot of momentum is built for Baylor VJ Edgecombe being the selection for the 76ers at 3. ESPN's Jonathan Givony reported as such on Monday, included that Rutgers Ace Bailey may not be interested in being in Philadelphia.
Ace Bailey has had a workout scheduled in Philadelphia, canceled it, and is really sending signals that he does not want to be there in Philadelphia.
We'll see if that impacts what they do at 3. We'll have live coverage of the draft from the Sixers facility in Camden on Wednesday starting at 7:30. Elsewhere in the NBA, Drew Holiday traded by the Celtics yesterday to the Portland Trailblazers, Anthony Simons, and 2 second-round picks coming back to Boston in that trade. And the Flyers made a deal yesterday acquiring center Trevor Zergis in exchange for Ryan Poehling, the 45th pick in Friday's draft, and a 2024 fourth-round pick. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole new floor inside your Macy's, and right now you'll find the latest summer styles all for under $25. With new arrivals every day, you'll never know what amazing deals you'll find. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the 76ers, the Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The tweet that the Pittsburgh Pirates put out 2 days ago, lauding the fact that they gave out free water to the fans who were at the ballpark at a Pirates game. Are you kidding me? Yeah, of course they give out free water. They save all the money by not paying their players. The least they can do is free freaking water. How about giving them a team? Free water? Yikes. Come on, man. Let's go. Also, I don't know if anybody read this, but on Thursday, if you're near the convention center, the National Constitution Center, you can wait in line for a free shorty hoagie. Wawa is giving out free shorties. I think it's 25,000 of them. So there you go. How long would you wait in line for a free hoagie? Because there's going to be thousands of people in line for a free hoagie. You know that. All right, let's go back to the phones. Let's talk to Chris in Overbrook. Chris, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Mike, how you been?
Good, Chris. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Yeah, I think by any means we have to draft Trey Johnson. Forget everybody else. You just draft Trey Johnson. You don't even think about it, and you move forward.
All right, what does Trey Johnson do for you, though?
He's 6'6".
Huh?
What's he? 180 pounds.
He's a two. He's a 2, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what do you do with Grimes?
Grimes can play. He can sit on the bench. You can't.
You can sit on the bench.
You can start him.
They thought they got a golden egg when they got Grimes.
No, he's not going to be. He's nowhere near on it. He's not going. He maybe now, but in 3 years, he's not even going to be in the same conversation as Trey Johnson.
Think so?
Trey Johnson's going to be.
You're really
Trey
high
Johnson's
on
going to be a super elite player.
Okay.
In the league, he's going to be. He's when you watch Iverson take a shot, and you watch when the ball hits the net, it's different.
Splash.
Same thing with Jordan. Sometimes it didn't even hit the net. It just hit the back of the rim and went in. It's the same thing with Trey Johnson. When he shoots the ball, the way it hits the net, it's obvious.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like him. Our colleague Amy Fadul really likes him as well. So are you suggesting a trade back where you can get him or take him at 3?
Take him at 3.
Take him at 3. That's a little high. It's a little high for him, bro. It's a little high for him.
No, I just say he's going to be elite. He's going to be.
Look at you, man. You're all over Trey Johnson. You really like him that much, huh?
He's going to be an elite player. In 5 years, he's going to be in the top 10 player. Easy.
We're going to save this. We're going to save this call, and we're going to replay it 5 years down the road. I'll be gone by then. But.
Well, probably not. But
yeah, I'll definitely be gone in 5 years. But we'll play this. You tell me he'll be dominating the league within 5 years. You're saying?
I'll tell you what, Mike. You bring me on to be your co-partner, we'll make a run for another 20 years. How about that?
I don't have 20 years to live, much less be on the air, brother.
Come on now.
All right. So Trey Johnson's your guy. It's not the first time I've heard this. I mean, Amy's going to be with us on Thursday, and we'll see if they take Trey Johnson. She has a lot of good things to say about him. I don't know. That's a reach at 3 for him, I think. If it comes to 3, Ace Bailey's a better prospect than Trey Johnson is.
Yeah, you could take advantage of the fact that people like Ace Bailey if you're going to take Trey Johnson, try and move back.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the Sixers can get some draft capital here if they move out of that slot. And, at 3, I don't think you're going to get anybody who's better than anybody else. Like, I don't think Ace Bailey is the prohibitive guy that you should take. I know the league thinks he's got the most upside, but, there's so many drawbacks on this kid right now. And not the least of it, I don't care about the interviewing. I really don't. That doesn't tell me anything. He doesn't want to interview. His agent goes, he's the third best player. Why would he have? The only thing he can do is mess it up. If it's more intrigue now that we don't have him work out with anybody. All right, it is the 1 o'clock hour in the Mike Missanelli Show. You're listening to it on 97.5 The Fanatic, the WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. And we broadcast every day live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Our colleague Bill Colarulo is going to be on in an hour with Ricky Bowe. And he said something that I want to play because he's the opposite Mike, Bill. And it's the opposite Mike. He thinks the Sixers really have a chance to be an East contender. And he throws a lot of ifs in there, but I think the take is absurd. But it leads to this question. How many Sixer fans feel like Bill that they could reemerge as East contenders? Here's what he had to say.
You look up and down the Eastern Conference now, and you look at the injuries that occurred in this postseason. You got Tyrese Halliburton last night. You had Jason Tatum blow out his Achilles. You had Damian Lillard for the Bucks blow out his Achilles. Why can't the 76ers compete in the Eastern Conference? And I know what you're saying right now. Well, Joel Embiid can't stay healthy. Paul George, he's got no fire. He's got no determination. Bear with me for a second. Let's pipe dream, okay? Let's pipe dream that the Joel Embiid that we saw literally a year ago in the postseason, who was averaging over 30 points a game on one leg. Let's say you get some semblance of that guy next year. And with him there, maybe Paul George is a little bit more motivated. You got Tyrese Maxey. You got Jared McCain. We got the NBA draft coming up on Wednesday night, and the Sixers are picking 3rd overall. You got my man Quentin Grimes, who can score off the bench most likely. You're going to maybe bring back Yabusele. Why can't the 76ers?
All right, I've heard enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. Once he went to Yabusele, I'm out. A pipe dream is just what it is. It's not a realistic dream. A pipe dream is a pipe dream. Looking up and down the East, this is what I see. I'm looking up and down it. And here's what I see. The Cavs are better, the Knicks are better, the Magic are better, the Celtics are better, the Pacers may be better, the Pistons may be better. That's what I see. I'm looking up and down the East, Bill. Cavs, Knicks, Magic, Celtics, Pacers, Pistons. Come on now. Problem is, if you're permissive of incompetence has a chance to survive. Let's go to Joe in Mantua. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Joe? Joe.
Hey,
hello, Joe.
Yeah, I think they're going to do something dramatic tomorrow night. I think the roster is going to be totally different Thursday morning than what it is right now.
Ooh, give me an idea of what that could be, Joe.
I have no idea. I'm just thinking either Maxey and McCain are probably going to go.
Oh, really?
One or the other.
A blockbuster trade, you see?
That's what I see. I can see them try maybe packaging, like I said, Maxey McCain along with Paul George. I could even see him making a move to get rid of Embiid.
Wow. You think they're going to shake up the world tomorrow?
I think they have to. I mean,
yeah. See, I don't think that they're capable of that. I think Daryl Morey actually believes the rot that he has created by saying, "Well, if they're all healthy, we still have stars." That's what Daryl Morey thinks. I don't think he's innovative enough to do what you think.
Well, like I said, George is on the downside. I believe Embiid's on the downside. I just told your screener, I said it's better to trade a guy early than trade him too late.
Oh, I totally agree. Now let's focus on Morey. You heard what he says. You heard the interviews he did with me. He thinks that this team put together is going to be okay.
Well, I hope he's throwing up a smoke screen because I feel completely 100% different than that.
Well, I don't see a smoke screen from the guy. I really don't. I actually think he believes what he's saying about this, that this fantasy world, that Embiid's going to be great, that George is going to be great, that McCain is going to help, that Maxey's going to be a star. He loves the 3-star concept. He thinks he's got 3 stars, and he doesn't.
I think Embiid can be complimentary, but he can't be the focal point anymore. I mean,
that's not what it's not what Morey thinks.
I know. Well, like I said, I hope he's throwing up a smoke screen. I think they need the player. They need Gilgeous-Alexander. They need Tyrese Halliburton.
I hear you. I'm down your lane, Joe. I like your idea, but I just don't see it's going to happen.
Basket.
Yeah, I hear you.
I hope so, but yeah, I hear you.
All right, Joe. It's a good. Joe thinks something crazy is going to happen tomorrow, right? Are you feeling that?
No. No, I'm not feeling that.
You're not feeling it?
No. I like the
Do you think Morey actually would think that way that Joe said instead of the other way, which is the opposite?
It's hard for me to think that he hasn't at least had the creeping in thought. Like, even when you're so convinced of doing something, like, just put it to your personal life. You're so convinced of something that people are telling you you're crazy to do. You usually at least have the little thought in the back of your brain, like, what if I'm wrong about this?
Yeah.
Like, even though he seems pretty convinced in this whole Embiid George Maxey thing, I have to imagine the creeping thoughts there.
Uh-huh.
But like, what is anyone else's motivation for taking one of these contracts from the Sixers?
You know, I'm trying to figure out, like, there could be one team that thinks if they get Joel Embiid, it would help them so much crowd-wise and also take their team over the top. But I can't see a team that's in that realm in the NBA. Like, I've looked at these teams. I go, what team could that be where they go, let's take a shot. He's got something left. This would raise our heights. It would have to be in the West, wouldn't it?
Yeah, what East team?
Let me ask you this. Would the Lakers consider? Would the Lakers consider bringing Joel Embiid in there for the final run, the final LeBron run, final Embiid run, take him over the top? Because they're stammering. They're clearly they're behind the Oklahoma City Thunder. Everybody in that West now is behind the Thunder. Would they take a shot?
Trying to figure out how it would work for them. Like, who are you taking from them? How do you end up making that
have
work?
to take a couple of high-priced.
Because I know this was, I think this was a Bill Simmons thing where it's like if you took all the expiring contracts from the Lakers and trade it for Embiid, you give the Sixers he called it the get out of jail free card. And would the Sixers do it? I mean, I guess like that'd be the one team. It's just hard to envision anyone. Like right now.
If there's ever a team out there, it might be the Lakers that would take that.
But would you stake LeBron's last run on a knee that we don't know anything about?
Desperate teams will do desperate things. Desperate teams will go, in our current situation, we can't win. What, we might as well take a shot. I don't know. 610-632-0975 is how you climb in. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Phillies tonight in Houston. We'll look at the game. Mike Missanelli Show continues. don't like him. I don't like him because of the line. Ranger Suarez versus Framber Valdez, Houston, which is ranked 7th all of a sudden in the power rankings. They're moving up. 3-gamer with Houston. They're 45-33 on the year. Framber Valdez is a pretty good pitcher. He's left-handed, which means the Phillies will have their we're not so potent right-handed lineup in there, where the bottom of the order includes Kemp, Sosa, Kennedy, Rojas. We don't have a lineup, but I assume it'll be Turner, Schwarber, Bohm, Castellanos, JT hitting 5th, Kemp 6th.
Probably, yeah.
Sosa 7th.
Maybe Sosa gets the bump to 6 after the home run the other night.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Sosa. I have a problem with him as an everyday player, but I'm not that crazy about Kemp, Kennedy, Rojas at the bottom of the order. There's a lot of outs there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kemp right now still is your best situation first base.
But in any event, the Phillies are right behind the Dodgers in the power rankings. It goes Dodgers, Phillies, Tigers, Yankees, Mets, Cubs, Astros. The top 7 in the power rankings right now. 18 games. Now, let me just go over the 18 games here, Ray. The Mets are struggling, right? So the Mets dropping to the 5th spot. They're even worse than that right now. But in any event, 3 against Houston. What do you got?
1.
1 and 2. 3 at Atlanta.
2.
2 and 1. San Diego at home for 3.
2.
All right. Cincinnati at home for 3.
2.
Yeah, you're looking good here. At San Fran for 3.
1.
At San Diego for 3.
2.
Okay. So you have 10 wins. That's 10 and 8, right?
Really?
That is that acceptable to you, 10 and 8? Or do you think they should do better than that?
I mean, this is a stretch where the Braves.
I'll take 10 and 8, by the way.
Braves and the Reds would be the only 2 that aren't playoff teams in this stretch. You'd come out of it over 500.
Yeah, I would take 10 and 8.
Yeah.
If somebody would give that to me right now, I'd take it.
Yeah, I'd take it. I mean, it's to me that West Coast swing going into the All-Star break is a dangerous we got to get off this. We're out on the West Coast. We can see the end in sight. These are good teams. That just has the feeling of a trip that you get tripped up on, and we spend the All-Star break belly aching over what this team is.
We'll see about tonight. I don't like him. Minus 150. Man, Ranger Suarez is really pitching well, too.
He should be an All-Star.
It's minus 150? Doesn't that seem out of whack to you?
No, I mean,
it doesn't?
You just listed it out. I mean, if you're looking at this lineup against Valdez, and it was nice to see the Phillies come alive against a lefty on Sunday night, but left-handers against this Phillies lineup tend to have an advantage just because of the right-handed bats they have. And Houston's been playing pretty well. They're at home.
All right.
I think you give them the advantage.
I gotta be honest with you. I bet the Stros tonight.
Yeah, I figured it was going this way.
I'm sorry. I had to do it. But I do think the Phillies will take 2 or 3.
I need you to call 1-800-Phillies, man. you get you're gambling against the Phillies, man.
No. I mean, I've been really successful. I'm picking games where they're going to lose.
Yeah, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I think I've hit 6 of my last 8.
You know what? Tonight will be the night where I actually fade you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Donation to whatever sports book I end up logging into right now.
All right. No, good luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You put out a tweet asking people for the most random Phillies homer they vividly remember.
Dude, people remember a lot of random crap.
And it blew up.
Yes.
I got one that pops right into my head. It was Joe Blanton's home run in the World Series.
Yeah, Blanton was a common refrain here.
Yeah, I mean, that was the most startling home run I've ever seen. Now, a memorable one was Victorino's slam against the Brewers. But that wasn't random. Joe Blanton, that was random.
I understand the randomness. That kind of went a little different than the vein I was asking here, because those ones I think we remember just because they're iconic postseason ones.
Yeah.
The random ones I was thinking was we're talking middle of July.
So Ty Kelly.
Yeah, like Ty
yeah.
Kelly ripping a home run. I got Chad's Billingsley was an answer, or Billingsley was an answer here. Drew Ellis hitting 2 home runs in 2023.
Drew Ellis. Oh my God.
Jimmy Paredes with the home run. Let's see. Yeah, that was Aaron Andrew Salciunas chimed in with that one. Trying to see which. Mariano Duncan grand slam against the Cardinals on Mother's Day 1993.
Yeah. Mariano could hit him though.
Steve Jeltz homer for both sides of the plate.
Oh God. Maybe the worst Philly ever, and I hate to say that because he comes to all the charity events, and he's a nice guy. He had the Jerry curls back in the day. Couldn't play.
Robert Person hitting 2 at the Vet against the
Person
Expos.
had some pop.
The Pache go-ahead homer against the Marlins.
Oh God.
Luke
Christian
Williams
Pache.
walk-off.
He's not still in the big leagues, is he?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he was atrocious.
He had
They
bounced.
carried him for so long too.
But yeah, people had a lot of good ones. A lot of people, I think they knew their audience with me when they mentioned the Mayberry home runs.
John Mayberry.
Yeah.
He was your favorite player, wasn't
5-tool. No, Howard was my favorite player.
Who was?
Howard.
Oh, right.
Growing up,
No, I was saying that facetiously.
Listen, I like John Mayberry Jr. quite a deal. He's
did?
He's the namesake of my fantasy football or fantasy baseball team.
You liked
the
John Mayberry
Mayberrys.
Jr.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
He drove me crazy.
John Mayberry Jr. was the right side of the platoon in left field right now. I'd be happy.
Oh my God. Well, for what they are now, maybe you would be happy.
I would be happy.
John Mayberry Jr. was aggravating.
Man at pop.
Oh my God, I couldn't stand him. Who did they trade for him? Somebody decent that they traded for John Mayberry. It was like a trade for underachieving players.
They traded Nope. That's
Who was it?
No, that's who they traded him for. They traded him to the Blue Jays. Did he get traded? I thought it was Rule 5 for some reason.
Mayberry was acquired.
Oh, Greg
From
Golson.
Texas, I think. Yeah, Greg Golson.
That's what.
Goalie, they called him.
Yes.
He once was the plum of the farm system. Greg Golson.
And he
They
ended
traded
up
him.
playing 40 games in the
For the Rangers, right?
Yeah, played
Yeah.
1 game for the Rangers. Ended up
Yeah.
with the Yankees for 2 years.
All right. 610-622-0975. On the other side, just a throwaway topic here as we're coming down the home stretch of the show. Would you be in favor of a dome stadium for the Eagles? Because we've talked about this a little bit with all this posturing by these corporate people with the new stadiums and such, what Jeffrey Lurie would get out of it. And we speculated that maybe he's thinking of putting a dome on Lincoln Financial Field so he can woo a Super Bowl here. Would Eagle fans be down with that? I am saying not. We'll talk about it after this on the Mike Missanelli Show.
Fanatic Sports Update.
3 with the Astros. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. And it's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. Tonight, the Phillies open up a 3-game series with the Astros in Houston. After the Mets lost last night, Phillies have a 1.5-game lead in the division. They'll throw out Rangers Suarez tonight against Framber Valdez. For Houston, that game starts at 8:10 tonight. Tomorrow night, the 76ers hold the 3rd pick in the first round of the NBA draft. A lot of momentum has built for Baylor's VJ Edgecombe being the selection for the 76ers at 3. ESPN's Jonathan Giovini reported as such on Monday and included that Rutgers Ace Bailey may not be interested in being in Philadelphia.
Ace Bailey has had a workout scheduled in Philadelphia, canceled it, and is really sending signals that he does not want to be there in Philadelphia.
We'll see if that impacts what the 76ers do at 3. We will have live coverage of the draft from Campton at the Sixers facility on Wednesday night starting at 7:30 right here on The Fanatic. Elsewhere in the NBA, Drew Holiday's out for Anthony Simons at 2 second-round picks as the Celtics and Trailblazers make that deal yesterday. And the Flyers made a deal yesterday acquiring center Trevor Zegras in exchange for Ryan Poehling, the 45th pick in Friday's draft, and the 2026 4th-round pick. This update's brought to you by Wendy's new Frosty Flavors. Wendy's putting a twist on a classic with all new Frosty Flavors. Find your new fave flavor and clock in for a sweet treat time anytime, including midnight or later. Refresh on a classic, gotta be Wendy's. At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
125. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5. The Fanatic. Well, in this hot weather, it's not bad enough. But have you noticed already that the price of gas is going up, Ray?
I did. My trips down to the shore are getting a little more expensive.
With all this mayhem in the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz being closed down, the price of gas will go up. Perfect for the summer. It's just perfect. Yeah, I was used to paying $2.99. Now all of a sudden that $2.99 is zoomed up to $3.30.
Oh, back up to $3.30.
Uh-huh.
I got $3.19 on Friday, I think. Whatever.
You got $3.19? Yeah, but you were used to it was under $3 there. For
it was. Yes. No, what I'm saying is I didn't realize it had jumped all the way to $3.30. This is why I walk everywhere.
Well,
except here, I can't walk.
Not
here.
good. That's the not good part about this whole thing. Your gas prices are going to go up. Also, I was reading a story where Ronald Acuna Jr. was getting panned for his home run trot last night.
Did he?
25 seconds. Guess what the average time for Schwarber and Harper home runs are?
22?
25 seconds. 25 seconds. Both of them, their average trot is 25 seconds. Wouldn't it seem like they're faster? They would go faster than that? I didn't even realize that they milked the trot.
Yeah, maybe it's just because they're just slow trotters. There's not much to their trot.
They do a little trot. Schwarber's got a little Babe Ruth trot, the way he runs.
Yeah.
Got a little Babe Ruth. Looked like Babe Ruth in an old video film. Harper runs normal. Castellanos has the arms high when he runs.
Yeah, I guess it's this little sidestep.
Yeah.
Sidestep at third base that got people upset about Cunha.
Was that the sidestep?
Yeah, he did a little, shimmy as he was coming up to third base.
25 seconds. Well, I think that may be the average time for guys that milk a trot.
I think it looked like he was just doing his thing, and then he did a little sidestep. People got upset about that. I mean, it's the day they sent down his brother, which I'm sure played a little bit
the Mets sent down his brother?
Yeah.
Did they?
They did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense. His brother's not hitting.
They're keeping the other kid who they think is a better prospect, but he didn't show me a thing.
I don't know why they just don't try McNeil.
Ronnie Mauricio.
Mauricio, yeah, he also can't hit right now.
Yeah.
The bottom of their lineup's also bad.
It is. Bottom of the lineup is bad.
Are Mets fans seriously upset about a 25-second trot? Wasn't Soto 30 seconds on Saturday?
He can really milk it, that dude.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. He gets away. Like he hit a ball off the wall and got a single out of it. To me, that would steam me as a manager. To me, you tell me nobody would talk to him about that. I don't care how much money he's making, what kind of a star he is. Give me at least that. I mean, give me a double at least. So a single out of that, it's embarrassing.
It's funny you say that. I was obviously there Sunday night, and the people in front of me were Mets fans, and it appeared to be a mother and her children, or one child and a friend, whoever it was. The one kid was great doing the scorebook the entire time. The other one was just one of the yellers. Everyone needs to know what he's saying at all times.
Yeah.
And he just kept yelling for them to return Soto to the Yankees. And I was like, that must be just one fan's thought of it. And then I put up actually TikTok. I'm trying to get into the whole TikTok game here.
Oh, you are?
Yes. And I mentioned the Mets in it. So the algorithm now thinks I want Mets things. And I got multiple TikToks of people talking about how Soto's overrated and they hate him. So I don't know if he's getting away with it with the fans up there, because I don't know how much you get away with in the media up there.
Yeah, it just steams me. Listen, when you hit a homer, you hit a home run. Baseball players have enough feel for when the ball comes off the bat and they know it's gone. When you don't, you're hurting your squad. I mean, it's so much difference when you get on second base than first base. I would be steamed.
By the way, his home run trot on Saturday night was 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yes. I remember it from Gelb's lead from the story.
Yeah, he loves to milk it in front of Philly fans. That's for sure.
Yeah, which I'm cool with. I didn't boo him for it. I didn't get upset about it. Hoskins did it to them a couple years ago. Had every right to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't mind the trot. Whatever. I mind when you don't know that you got it, that you don't run it. That's what I mind.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with watching it, flipping the bat, the whole bit. When you know you got it, you got it.
Sosa the other night.
Exactly.
That was electric.
That was a smash.
That ball was crushed.
Yeah, he can crush it. Let's get back to the text board. What do we have so far on the text board today?
I'm sure you're very intrigued as to this Embiid text that we got.
We have an Embiid text.
Yes.
Pro Embiid?
Chris in Washington Township. You guys realize that one season ago, Embiid was averaging 35 a night on his way to another MVP award, right? There's no reason why he can't bounce back. Will he ever average 35 again? Probably not. But say with certainty that he can't get back to 28 and 10 is just being an Embiid hater.
Yes, there is a reason why he can't bounce back. He's the longer it goes on, the unhealthier he gets. That's the reason why he can't back. People, I don't understand how you look at a guy and go, he's going to bounce back. Where is he going to bounce back? You reach a physical point of deterioration, and that's what he has reached. It's misguided. It's crazy to think that he's going to be this spry Embiid that we remembered early on in his career. What else you got on text board?
I have a text that has really confused me. I'll check it in. Yo, guys, stop being pessimistic. The Phils are fine. We're just starting to heat up. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Were we being pessimistic?
Where were we pessimistic today about the Phillies? We're lauding the fact that they are now ranked second in the power rankings. Where were we?
I just want to make
down
sure
on the Phillies.
I didn't miss anything that I said that you said.
Come on, man. We weren't down on the Phillies today. The only time I was down on them is their right-handed lineup tonight. In the back of the bottom of the order does not look healthy to me with Kemp, Sosa, Kennedy, and Rojas. Maybe you give an asterisk to Sosa, but Kennedy, Rojas, and Kemp.
Yeah,
in the bottom of the order. I never want to see Rojas taking that bat. Never. Every time he walks to the plate, it unnerves me. Now he stopped bunting for hits. When's the last time he bunted? Tried to bunt for a hit?
A week or two ago, right?
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't played a ton. He went at a stretch there, which we remember because the Castellanos benching, where he didn't play.
His demeanor bothered me. I don't know what it is, man. I look at his face. He smiles even when he smiles, it bothers me.
You might want to talk to someone about that.
I need therapy.
I'm
this boy needs therapy.
You might.
I might. I don't know. There's everything that guy does rubs me the wrong way.
I don't know if they need to show you like a picture of Rojas and then light a nicely scented candle or something. Like a little bit of try and rework your brain.
He just has a snarky, confident, cocky look on his face and it's undeserved. Like I'll take the snarky face if you achieve. But you're a mediocre player. You're not even a major league caliber player at this stage.
He's defensive replacement. That's what he is at this point.
That's exactly what he is, and you can't afford a defensive replacement.
The problem that I have largely with the fact if they're going to keep him on this roster throughout the rest of the season, like if that's legitimately the plan, he can't be as aloof on the base paths as he is.
How about was it 2 nights ago? He rounds second base and almost got thrown. Lindor double clutched. He had him dead to right. Where's he going? Where is he going there?
Yeah, that drove me nuts. And that
he doesn't know how to play the game. Where's he going?
I don't know if it's you've gotten by for so long on your own speed and like the other levels of baseball, you don't expect them to be able to grab you like that. This is Major League Baseball. Their mistake is not going to be made there.
The
9
ball
times out of 10, you're out.
Kicked away from the shortstop. It was visible to you. Where are you going? All right. By the way, our 12 o'clock hour, I forgot to remind the people. It was brought to us by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when you purchase a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. And let me tell you about our deal of the week, Ray. 2 Fanatic deals for you this week. 2 of the Jersey Shore's top amusement attractions in Seaside Heights. Seaside Heights is where I used to go all the time as a high school Mikey Miss.
Hell yeah.
Because it was right across the state from where Bristol was. In fact, that was the place, if you remember, I told you the story when I was making out with somebody and then I looked up and there was the glowing cross on the wall.
Yes, I do remember that.
That was in Seaside Heights. But in any event, buy 1 2-hour casino pier ride wristband, you'll get 1 for free. Deal 2, buy 1 all-day Breakwater Beach admission pass, and you'll get 1 free. Now, these are great deals if you know Seaside Heights. Get these exclusive offers while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals.
Could have yourself quite a weekend. You could go to these places. You could end up back at someone's house.
I remember we used to go and stop down this. It was like a halfway bar in Browns Mills, New Jersey, on the way to Seaside Heights. So we stop in there one day, and I'm at the bar having a couple pops, waiting for Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes from Asbury Park, Bruce Springsteen, the whole bit. Southside Johnny. So I'm sitting at the bar. There's a guy next to me eating fried chicken. Got greasy hands, eating fried chicken. I didn't think anything of it. And the announcer goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes." The guy eating fried chicken gets up. It was Southside Johnny. Greasy fingers. He wipes off his fingers. He goes on stage. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Ricky Bo.
140 Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. We're coming down the home stretch. We got a couple things to settle up here. First of all, you know, the Oklahoma City Thunder won the NBA championship. They used to be the Seattle Supersonics. So I don't know how I would have handled this. I think that time goes on and you kind of forget about it. But apparently the people in Seattle still hold a serious grudge. And they loathe anything associated with the Oklahoma City Thunder because it used to be their franchise. So this sports anchor is giving the report, and here's how he handled it.
Finally tonight, unfortunately, the Indiana Pacers lose Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Big game for the Sounders tomorrow. We will see you out at Lumen Field.
Yeah, the last thing he says, the NBA championship happens, and he says, finally tonight, the Indiana Pacers lost Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Why we have a Sounders game coming up? Dude, is that inappropriate?
No, it's wonderfully
violation?
Done. Wonderfully done. You're local. That's what your angle is here. Your angle on that finals is that it's not the Supersonics.
He didn't even mention the Oklahoma City name.
No need.
Unfortunately, the Indiana Pacers lost Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
No need.
Come on, man. How long do you hold a grudge?
At least until the first title.
It's not Oklahoma City's fault.
No.
It's like they didn't steal the franchise.
Yeah, I mean.
The ownership took the franchise down there.
Right.
They weren't supported in Seattle.
Were they not supported in Seattle?
I don't. Why else would you move? If you were really supported, and they had some successful teams down there, the Jack Sigma teams, Slick Watts, Gus Johnson, guys like that back in the day. Detlef Shrimp.
The attendance for why does no one ever have this? Yeah, I mean it was low.
All right, so there you go. They didn't support it.
Yeah, but a timeout.
What?
You are very much one of the don't support a product that stinks. The product stunk.
Well, but they were successful at one point.
Right, but their attendance at the end there was
now listen,
indicative
I'm blaming
of a poor
ownership. I'm blaming ownership, but to hold a grudge against Oklahoma City is a bit much, don't you think?
It's one of those.
Hold a
that could have
grudge
been us.
against the people that ran the franchise and moved it. Hate them.
I understand.
Hate the sinner, not the sin.
Yeah,
or is it the other way around?
Oh.
Hate the sin, not the sinner.
I'm more of a hate the game, not the player type of guy when it comes to sayings.
Oh, there you go. All right, so let me get back to this Eagle thing, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow. First of all, Ray, I think a dome stadium would be terrible. You don't build a dome stadium just because you want to attract the Super Bowl. I know it would line your pockets. It would be good for the commerce of the city of Philadelphia. Eagle fans are meant to be outside, don't you think?
And that's like my caveman feeling on it. We should be out there in the elements.
We should be outside. That's an advantage to the Eagles to play outside at Lincoln Financial Field. Why would we want a dome? Just because Jeffrey Lurie wants a Super Bowl?
Well, and then what else could you attract? The Final Four? Like, there's other events that come with that big of an arena.
I get, okay, and it would be good for the city, but would it be good for individual Eagles fans? They're the ones that count.
Would it be good for the Eagles, point blank? How much of an advantage is it?
Would it be good for the Eagles because they would be richer?
No. To the advantage of being here late in the season. Like, I think there is something coming to the elements and coming to our, like...
There is a major part of that. Most Eagle fans are like they're stoked in the cold weather.
And if you had... But for the individual fans, is it that much better of an experience in the cold weather than just being at the game?
I don't know. We'll have to hear from Eagle fans. Really, this is a question for Eagle fans. If you want to hit us up on the text board, 610-632-0975, just to get a quick reaction. And we'll talk more about this tomorrow. I think it's a terrible idea to have a dome. It's like, what are we going to do next? We're going to put a dome at Beaver Stadium at Penn State because it's too cold? Because we want to attract the NCAA championship game? You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Why?
Man, James Franklin's talking about extending the runway of the airport. You're about 25 steps away from State College hosting anything like that.
Probably a bad example. But it's a good example here in Philadelphia. do we really want a dome stadium in Philadelphia so we could watch a game in comfort and not have the same level of barbarianism?
We got some people weighing in on the YouTube chat right now.
What do you got? The YouTube
Neil
chat?
checking in saying dome bad, retractable dome perfect.
Yeah, that might work. Retractable dome perfect. You're still negating the advantage of the cold weather if you close the dome in a December game, because that's when you would do it, right?
Right, and then you would probably close it. Like we would never get the Rams playoff game again.
Right. They would close it for a Super Bowl. Whoop-de-damn-do. They get one Super Bowl in the lifetime of the stadium?
Or, I would love the sports talk radio fodder if they had a playoff game, the weather was supposed to be bad, and they left it open.
There you go.
Because we would get the Eagles are doing wrong by the game. This isn't truly football. I'm actually all in on the retractable roof just for the fodder it would create.
Okay.
It's better for my life. It's better for
Do I care really about whether they're going to attract the NCAA Final Four here? Like, would I care as a resident of here, as a fan of the Philadelphia team? Would I give a crap about whether they can attract an NCAA Final Four?
I would.
Well, you're a basketball broadcaster. I get why you would.
Well, okay, I appreciate you giving me the thought that I would be calling a Final Four.
Why would it be important to Philadelphia people?
The ability to go?
I don't know. I think there'd be lukewarm interest for a Final Four here.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Plus, how many tickets you would get anyway for Philadelphia?
All right, so if the Philadelphia people aren't interested, but obviously the basketball world descends upon you, think about all the businesses. Think about all the hotels.
I get
that's a boom economically.
I get it. It would be an economic boom for the city. But we're talking about now sacrificing Eagle fans in their natural environment.
Oh, I get it. I usually go back to the caveman part of this thing where I just love the fact that we're out in the elements and we're as wild as we are.
I don't want it. I'm sorry. I don't want a dome stadium. Retractable dome doesn't do it either because you would you would close the dome in the cold weather. That would be the idea for it. Why would you leave it open? When would you ever close it?
Just for the Final Four and the Super Bowl, I guess.
That's it. For the Final Four and the Super Bowl.
Gosh, this idea really
You're playing the rain even.
Fascinating to me here. Because if you were to host, like if you were the home team and you have the decision for a January game, for example, the Rams, like you have the decision to leave it open there for the snow and let the elements play a role in it. But you also, if you were the Super Bowl host city that year, there's no way in the world they would let you leave that roof open. So within like 3 or 4 weeks, you could have the roof open for the elements and then be forced to have the roof closed to avoid the elements.
Okay,
be a fascinating
you're right. Blizzard conditions coming in. Are you closing the dome?
Depends. Is it the Super Bowl or is it just a playoff game?
It's just a regular game.
Well, I guess the people taking care of the field probably tell you that they want you to close it.
Would that be an advantage for the Rams?
Of course.
It would. You see that we get into touchy situations here. All right, let's go. Alan wants the dome. Alan in Villanova. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Alan?
Yeah, I told you because I wanted the dome, but I meant I want a retractable dome. And, Mike, I can't believe you don't think there'd be interest. This is a college basketball town. It always has been, and it always will be.
It is not a college basketball town anymore. Where is it a college basketball town? It's a one-team town. It's not a college basketball town.
People still love college basketball.
Where do they love college basketball? Where are they supporting college basketball except at Villanova?
You're probably right on that, but I think if Temple and St. if the teams were to get a little bit better, they would come back.
How are they going to get better? They're not going to get any better.
You're right.
The NIL is here to stay.
I still think that despite the fact that we only have one really decent team, the place would go crazy of a Final Four.
I don't think so, man. Listen, the only thing a Final Four would do was bring commerce to the city and a lot more money. Now, the fans in general here would not be that crazy about a Final Four enough to justify a dome.
I guess maybe I'm just a lone wolf because I like to go to Final Fours even when they're not.
I love college basketball too, but Philadelphia is not a college basketball town any longer. It's just not.
I hate to agree with you, but you're probably right.
See, I convinced you otherwise, Alan. There is this myth that Philadelphia is a college basketball town. Maybe it used to be. It's no longer. St. Joe's, LaSalle, Penn, Drexel. There's very little interest in what they do anymore.
I don't know about very little. I think to like the massive audience, to like if for example, for us here on what we do, when we talk about the umbrella of listenership, the umbrella of listenership for college basketball in this town, I would agree is a small thing. I think you have very, very passionate pockets of fans that are alumni of those programs, that grew up around those programs, that care quite a bit.
The only school that can actually make gains in college basketball right now is your university. And the reason why they can't is because they can't compete with the NIL. Now, this settlement, will Temple get $22 million?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where. Like, I haven't.
However, if that money flows to Temple, how much will go to the football program? Because most of the money will go to the football program. How much will go to the basketball program? And will enough go to the basketball program to make Temple as viable as they used to be to sell out their own arena?
Yeah, and that's a very valid question on the future of them as a program. And I think the one program that I certainly wouldn't count out in the interest and the ability to compete here is what St. Joe's can do. Given the fact that they are in eighth, like that league, they have to win it at this point to get in most years.
But their arena only can accommodate so much.
Yeah, but you think about the alumni base that they have and what they could have the ability to fundraise for. Like, I think
how much are they getting with this settlement? How much would a non-football school like St. Joe's, could this benefit St. Joe's to that extent if they're getting $20 million? Did they opt in?
Yeah.
They did.
I think everyone around here opted in.
Okay, so are they going to get $22 million? And if so, their NIL should be through the roof.
Their NIL situation, from what I understand, is not bad.
Okay, well then if you add that settlement money, maybe St. Joe's can build something.
I mean, I think they're in a position where they certainly can. I think but like again, going down this path of what it means for these schools, it's going to be tough, and it's certainly tough already for a lot of these schools to compete. But I think the way you look at college basketball will be the way I look at when we talk about umbrella of listenership here at the station. Like, I don't think you're leading college basketball with a big Nova win on Friday night, like big Nova game.
You're not. But Villanova is the only viable team right now that attracts eyeballs and attention. I mean, I think that's fair to say.
On a national stage,
so that would not make Philadelphia a basketball town, college basketball town.
It's got a rich college basketball tradition.
It has a tradition, but it's not a town anymore.
I guess that's the way you want to look at it. Like, I don't know. I think that you have franchises in sports that have rich tradition that are not, no longer at the level that they were before.
I hear you. Listen, back in the day when I was covering college basketball, it was more of a basketball town than it is now, because you had Temple viable, you had Villanova viable, you had LaSalle actually viable back then. And, St. Joe's was trying to get there, but they actually did not. And Penn was decent, but back then it was more a college basketball town than it is now, unfortunately, the way things have swayed. All right, anyway, thanks for listening to the show today. We had a lot of fun. Tomorrow is General Knowledge Wednesday, and I'm already accumulating the topics for tomorrow. And then Thursday we'll have Amy Fadul on with us. So everybody have a great rest of the night. Stay tuned for Unfiltered. Take care, everybody.